Hello everybody and welcome to the second day of group stages and thus the last day of group stages in the owc World Cup. Right now we do have all the players ready and it's going to be South Korea versus Russia, and commentating this match is going to be me on GeForce and later joined by C-Shot. At the beginning we'll get the warms ready for South Korea and the Russian Federation, but the reason why this match is important and is being streamed is because both these teams are respectively 2-0 in their group, which means that the win decides the outcome of the seeds, at which they will proceed into the next stage of the tournament, which is going to be the elimination bracket. To be more exact, the double elimination bracket, because we do have a losers bracket.
Yeah, so alongside the South Korea versus Russian Federation match, we also have Finland versus New Zealand, and we also have Australia versus Greece.
Oh, I see. So hello there, that beat and welcome.
Hello.
So you're still being the statistician for the other matches currently, alright?
I'm really looking forward to this New Zealand match.
Right, for any information of the matches which are in parallel, either listen to the stream and hear a wonderful Deadbeat talking, or look at the chats and there are plenty of MP links there, or there's also a stats Google Docs where you always also find the MP links if you're interested in the other matches. But for now, focusing on the match at hand with South Korea versus Russian Federation. And South Korea being the higher seed, and in my opinion, being one of the top 4 teams to take in this tournament. Which might be in any kind of, there are a bunch of, there are top 4 teams which are all top seeds, thankfully. So there was no seeding problems there for the top teams in the tournament. But South Korea is really scary because last year actually they might not have looked that scary because of lacking a few members and just not having too many quality players all around. They did have some really good players, but they aren't on the level of this year's. For example, you have the addition of owc2016 now, who's actually gotten really good over the year and has shown in tournaments, in community tournaments over the year between the two OWCs, that he actually is extremely good at tournaments and can definitely show his consistency off, even with mouse. But on the other side, we do have new fresh bloods like Tyrolas and Lavars coming into for the Korean team and showing that they're actually really good and have also improved over the year. Also, one of the older fan favorites, Netta, who's part of the Burst Limit team in community tournaments, one of the more popular teams. Was the captain of that team and is going to help out in for South Korea in this World Cup as well. And let's not forget the other side, the Russian side of the things. We have Kurt, Shakboy, Shiavas and Ann Berlin. A lot of these Russian players also have plenty of experiences in tournament, community tournaments, and Shiavas especially has shown really good performances.
Yeah, the Russian Federation team is looking pretty good this year.
Indeed, and I definitely met these Russians a few times in tournaments, and they're not to be taken too lightly. They might not be extremely overwhelming as some other players, like for example facing, I don't know, 4 owc2016 or 4 HVIX, but they are definitely up there in terms of scariness in tournaments. They do have the potential to see every map, and that alone is scary enough. And then they do so consistently, with good accuracy. But on the other side, in South Korea, we do have players like My Aim Sucks, who has also shown that he's incredibly good at the game. I mean, just he's one of the best accuracy players I've ever seen in this game. And in Scorby 2, that is really good for him because he'll just be able to get most of the 300,000 points out of the 1 million for Scorby 2 just by accuracy. And the first warp is going to start.
It also looks like we have Z-Trot here, I believe.
Hello, how's everybody doing? And apologize if I sound a little bit on the strange side. Not sure if my mic settings are good.
Welcome, Cedar. How are you now? In this wonderful night.
Wonderful night or lovely morning, depending on where you're at. I am ready for the matches that we have today. Day 2. Well, I guess technically Day 2 started a little bit ago. If you guys were here for our earlier match, it was just an hour block. But if not, definitely check out the VOD for it. And this is a pretty interesting first warm-up here that we're seeing. Our players are bright and bushy-tailed, ready for this match.
Indeed, and it'll be one heck of the match because it's a first seed against a second seed on the group stage map pool, which both these teams have shown that they're capable of playing really well.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of control here in these stream sections from all of our players right now.
And this map is really spaced in terms of streams, and 199 BPM, I believe, in terms of speed. So it's definitely decently fast, and we do see Angel Sim being really well versed in space streams and stream consistency control.
Yeah, we've just seen Netta drop there on that transition back to jumps. But definitely amazing control. Really crazy warm-up to see so early in the stages.
Indeed, but these performances will not say too much about the matches because this is a skill set which is not even nearly tested as much in this map as the map pool.
Very much so.
The most these players will really have to stream out 200 BPM in the first double time pick.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Kurt is having some issues there. The drain on this warm-up, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this is one of the warm-ups where you really want to show off your skills and just go ham.
And ham they went, as you can see there. Quite a large size difference there. Kurt definitely having some issues getting a flow. Kind of hard to get things moving right at the beginning there. Hopefully both our sides are pretty warmed up, and you know, time zones are a little bit more on their side, so hopefully no one's as sleepy because this is not the time to sleep.
Indeed, and there are some players who might not have really warmed up streaming on 200 BPM specifically for this kind of length, which is completely fine because you don't really need it in this map pool. But when we get to the later matches and just harder map pools in general, that's the point where you really have to warm up multiple aspects of O's and be on the top of your game for every single game.
Yeah, and I mean, like I was saying before, we've seen a couple of warm-up picks throughout the group stage already. That is a little bit on the faster side, but oh, Deadbeat just smiled on the inside, guys.
Why?
Do you not hear the next warm-up? It looks like they're gonna go ahead and be playing Die for the next warm-up. I wonder what that could be from,
Yeah, pretty interesting, but I have actually seen the Russian team pick these kind of Ruby maps pretty frequently. I think they're definitely a fan of it.
Oh, for sure. Well, I love the maps for a lot of the Ruby songs as well. They're usually pretty fun.
Yeah, thankfully some mappers agree that these songs are great, and that definitely makes some good maps out of them. But I believe this is going to be another one of these picks where we'll test the players' skills on a really high level, except for warming up properly. I mean, some people actually warm up this way by going and playing really hard Steel 7-star maps to be able to be warmed up for like 5 or 6-star maps.
Yeah.
Which is completely fine. But then there are other people who slowly, gradually step up the game when warming up.
Yeah, and like I said before, when you're warming up on stuff that's a lot higher than what you're actually going to be playing, it definitely helps for snapping, it helps for jump ability, but at the same time, it can be bad for players that are used to doing like a gradual climb, as you said. But I don't think any of our players playing in group stage or that have signed up for the World Cup have that kind of issue. That's something that kind of happens a little bit more as you're getting new to the game. And a lot of these people here are veterans and returning players from previous years.
Indeed, it's pretty much about what warm-up schedule or like what warm-up idea you follow and just keeping up with it until the end. And as long as you know how to warm yourself up properly, it'll be no problem warming up yourself before the match. Because if you actually use these 2 warm-up maps in the tournament match to warm up, then that's not really the best idea ever, because you need more than 2 maps to warm up properly. That's just a fact.
Yeah, we have definitely seen people come in blind on the warm-ups and just knock it out crazy, which more power to them if they can do that. But it definitely takes a very skilled individual to pull something off like that. Looking at the gameplay right now, though, it looks like everybody's holding pretty consistently with this warm-up.
Indeed, it actually seems like it's gonna be a decent map to play, and both the teams are performing wonderfully.
Lots of string control into controlled jumps there. And as you can see, the Russian Federation holding very close behind South Korea here in terms of score, as it doesn't look like anyone's dropped at this point. It's solely off accuracy. Yuria did drop for South Korea, but that's just now going to be reflected in score as it does switch over to the Russian Federation side.
And I just noticed that Fallen is actually in the lobby for the Russian Federation team, another really good Russian tournament player from what I've seen over the years.
Yeah, very consistent too. I can just like turn out of them tournaments. Fallen's been around for quite some time, so that's good to see. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a little bit more of the team swap roster this time. So far during the group stage, one thing I have noticed is you haven't seen as many substitutions. I don't know if that's just because the teams have really strong rosters this year, or if it's just that it's not a point in the tournament where they need to strategically start switching out players just for specific maps.
Yeah, it's currently in this type of group stage. It's not as important to swap out the players, except for really extreme skill sets which you are not used to playing nowadays, which is, for example, a push at 8. That's one of the skill sets which only specific players can do because they did practice it. But the mini substitutions aren't really that important in the group stage, because it's more the group stages are about the player being good enough to see, and then adding the control of nerves on top of that. And if you have someone who's really good at DT but can play hard rock decently, but is really consistent, you're gonna put him in for hard rock instead of the hard rock main who's really nervous.
Yeah, very much so. And like, it's interesting to see, like, some of the lower seed teams will do the strategic moves in group stage, but when you see our higher seed teams and teams that are like very comfortable in the tournament scene. In group stage, you don't see as many swap outs unless they're just trying to make sure that every player plays.
Indeed. Well, looking at these scores, interesting with the only FC. A few misses at the end, unfortunately, but that is going to conclude the second warm-up, going into the overhead of every tournament match, which is rolling and banning and then first picking.
Yeah, it looks like Kurt got a whopping 11 points.
It's alright, even the USA lost against something like that with a roll of 5.
Oh,
So
man.
there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Oh, man. Blumenkranz is just not getting any type of love. Well, it's getting a lot of ban love.
Indeed. The most unfortunate thing is that most teams do have a few players who can definitely perform really well on it. But the problem is with the map is that you just feel unsafe if you do not have a 4-man lineup who are really good and comfortable on the pick. If you only have 3 or 2 people comfortable on it, it might be a bit of a coin toss.
Yeah, very much so. All right, and it looks like we're going to start our first official match here with 1OK Rock, and that's Mikanse. I pronounced this right earlier, but I'm not going to try right now. But you know what map it is.
Indeed, that the first 1OK Rock map. How about that?
Yeah.
every time we pick the map, we always just write 1OK Rock into the chat instead of the other part of the song title. But yeah, going into this pick, this is the highest star rating map in the entire pool. Don't let that conceive you. This is not going to be the hardest map in the pool, but it is the hardest map in one regard, which is jumps and the consistency of jumps. It does have decent flow in it for nowadays mapping, and it does have around almost 6-star rating, and that's going to be what South Koreans want to test. Just the raw jumping ability and being able to just outperform them on harder picks. Just out of raw difficulty.
If you're not careful at this very beginning, especially if you're not ready for the fact that it's going to be a lot faster than you give it credit for jump-wise, to begin with, you can have some early misses, but it's very unlikely for our players at this level to see that happen. Although I definitely underestimated it when testing out the pool and saw death quite a few times.
The beginning at least starts really tame, because you do have sliders on the same spots going back and forth, which is going to at least be able to give you the timing of the song. Because usually you might have problems if the song starts out really hard, just starts off with a bang by having a lot of jumps in there, because you need some time to get used to each song's speed. That's why you see most accuracy drops in pretty much almost every map, because you go from song to song which varies in speed. This one is 195 ppm, but the previous song might have been 180, and you need to get used to being a little bit faster with your eyes and with your entire playing style.
Yeah, this one is fun to watch though. Definitely be on the lookout, as you can see that we might see some drops at the beginning if they're not ready, but it looks like everybody's had some good practice with this one already, being day 2 into group stage. So
Indeed. Red Pixel with the early accuracy drop, actually the only one who missed the accuracy in the beginning. Everyone else already played the map so many times.
yeah, Inan actually going to do a very early drop at the very beginning here, but it just goes to show you how strong the accuracy on South Korea's side is. He's not really feeling any damage from that drop early on here. Now, it might be more apparent as we go further, but they still have the lead on just raw accuracy at the moment.
Indeed, and there are a few parts I want to highlight in this map, which is going to be pretty much in the key item, which we see now. And this happens twice in the map, and there's one of the most difficult jumps at around the 70% mark of the map, where most players miss because it's just the largest jump in the map, bringing this map to the 6-star rating.
Yeah, it does look like the lead moved over to the Russian Federation side, but it's flickering, meaning that, you know, South Korea is trying to hang on to this just by exiting. Ooh, but Netta's actually going to see a miss, giving the Russian Federation a huge chance here to pull away in score. So even though the accuracy might not be on the same level as South Korea's here, the consistency, if they could just hang on to it, they've got this one.
Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting to pick this against the Russian Federation because they're also incredibly consistent on these kind of maps.
Yeah, we'll see Shibase actually hitting a miss there, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. If they can keep with the consistency here, we have roughly about 25% of the song left. The scores are very close. South Korea right on Russian Federation's tails here. If they make another mistake here, it could be an easily swap over, and the point could go to South Korea. And what we've seen in this group stage, guys, they can't give up till the last note. We've seen spin to win victories as low as 475 points. So, ooh, Shibase is going to find another miss along with Index. That could be the jump that South Korea needs here to pull ahead. But if the Russian Federation can hang on to it, they might have this. It's going to be one of those matches. And there it goes. It's moved over to South Korea's side. Oh, ooh, double drops from owc and Inan, moving right back over to the Russian Federation. Holy crap. That's one way to get the blood pumping, and it looks like we have a victory for Russian Federation's side. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was actually, it shouldn't be too hard for the players, but it's just so out of line with the rest of the map because you're not used to these large things just happening out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was very impressive. And the highest scoring member on that was actually on South Korea's side, and that went to Angelson. They went over the 1,000,000 points there by 3,055. So very impressive play, only receiving 1/100 like a machine.
I mean, just judging by the accuracies and knowing the South Korea lineup against the Russian Federation, I'd probably go into more technical maps against the Russian Federation, because you can have people like My Aim Sucks or HHR, formerly known, to perform extremely well, and just South Korea is so good at accuracy that they can definitely, if there's an 8-way FC, they're gonna look and reign superior out of that because of the accuracy.
Yeah, and you know, breaking point on South Korea's got to be an excellent feeling moving into this. That's definitely a good way, but I wouldn't start relaxing just yet here, as South Korea is really good at breaking points themselves, so this one could be quite interesting.
Indeed, I think this is one of the matches where we can actually see a bunch of different mods being picked, because if you really want to win this, you must have prepared a lot of these things. And hidden might actually be a possibility, but I think they're actually going for hardware. They're actually going for hidden.
Oh man, I love this second hidden pick. While we haven't seen too much love for Blumenkon, we have seen a lot of love for Cotonal Clinic, and this is a really fun map. Like, I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but you do have to pay attention. And this one's not so much about reading as quickly as possible, but taking your time and understanding how some of the patterns are going to appear. there's two major patterns in this one, Fours, that really can trip up players, I feel, and one of them is that rotation pattern up at the top left corner. You'll definitely know what I'm talking about when you see it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And the second one, what do you feel is the second one, Citrus?
And I feel like the second major section where you might mess up isn't something that's really necessarily hard, but there's a section later on in the map where it's just simple up and down movements. But there's a couple just slight variant changes that if you're not paying attention to with hidden, there goes a miss.
Indeed. I think actually the corner at the top left is gonna be okay as long as you're used to playing hidden.
Yeah.
But the most difficult aspect, I believe, in this map is actually going to be the fact that it's approached at 8.8, added to the fact that it's 150 BPM, which means a BPM range you usually don't play, and if you play, then in various circumstances and special map styles, this is pretty much just an easy 150 BPM map. And that's why those two factors together brings me to believe that also the repeat sliders, the fast ones, there's like 2 repeat sliders and then a node afterwards. It's a really tough point of the map because you need to be on point with your time.
Yeah.
If you're not, then you easily slide.
There are some other parts that are like a little bit bursty with it being an awkward BPM, like you said. It's not really fast, but you feel like it kind of gets fast. So there's false speed ups, I feel like. And if you're not paying attention to the actual approach end and being 8.8 is a little bit on the outer side. Most people are used to seeing them pop in and disappear really quick. But I feel like this one's just all about taking your time and just trying to read it, because hidden is readable. So just taking your time and trying to read it as best as possible.
But I also agree with the notion of the back and forth jumps tripped up so many players already.
Yeah, and it's just because, you get into it and you start moving a little bit faster than you really should be. Because as you said, this one's kind of just a chill jam, in all honesty.
Indeed. But the patterns are a little bit unusual for today's mapping, I'd say, because of all the, just the range of patterns which are used in this map and the repeat sliders. Yeah,
very much so. It's definitely a little bit different from the current meta, as you'd call it, but definitely interesting to watch.
But thankfully, the back and forth jumps, which are a problem, are only gonna be part of the second half of the map.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's holding pretty well here. It's looking like this is mostly an accuracy battle at this moment. And that's something you really don't want to get into with South Korea. Accuracy battles are usually not a good thing for you.
Indeed, but Net's actually struggling a little bit with the map.
Yeah, I do see that. They're playing it a little bit early there, getting a lot more 100s than they'd probably like to be getting at this moment. But still holding that combo, and that is what is important there. And as you can see, even with everybody holding, Kurt did drop a little bit ago, and that is going to give South Korea that point advantage, as they have yet to actually see a drop.
Oh,
Yuria. Yeah, Yuria actually is going to see that drop, and right on those back and forth jumps like we were talking about. If you don't take those slowly, you can make a miss. She would say also finding a miss.
Actually drops all around. Shiawase missing on these streams, unfortunately, and on following suit.
Yeah, with only a quarter left, though, it might not be enough room for the Russian Federation to pull a score up, as it seems like South Korea's still got the overall combo and accuracy lead, and they're just pulling that score further and further ahead, cementing this win, it seems to be.
Actually, Kurt is going to get a little bit more score than Yuria at this point, but I don't think it's going to be enough to close the 200,000 points gap. Because just the 2% accuracy differences, for example, from my M Sucks, is just too big.
Yeah, my aim sucks. Just 99.65%. No problem.
He's one of the best accuracy players, in my opinion, in the entire game so far. I mean, just look at it. I think that's a 92 on save rate.
That is ridiculous. Definitely going to be the highest scoring player on the entire map with my aim sucks.
Indeed.
Just blowing it out of the water there. Very impressive play.
Indeed, some players might actually say that him having a 92 on save rate might not be too good for his standards, at least, or like for a general standard, which is true to some extent. But there are multiple factors coming in, and one of them is that actually it's a tournament setting, and when you're playing in single player and trying to get really good PP scores, you can at least retry, so you can focus a lot more on the accuracy to get that one run with the amazing accuracy for the maximum PP. And that's just a play style in single player. In tournaments, sometimes players are going to have to sacrifice a little bit of accuracy for consistency. They have to focus more on their aim hand and coordination to do it perfectly, because you only have one shot at the map.
Yeah, and it looks like the next map that we will be playing is Altail, and we've seen this one to be quite fun and quite a popular pick in group stage. This map has lots of streams, decent flow patterns for it, so I don't see this one being too much of an issue for either side here. So this is definitely going to boil down to a type of accuracy battle.
Indeed, that's what I would expect, as long as nobody is dropping up, which I believe players of this caliber shouldn't necessarily have problems with this map in particular, at least the beginning, where it's just 180 BPM streams. There might be a little bit of some accuracy drops at the weird sliders at the beginning, which look like flower petals, but that's just gonna be the nature of the song. But I believe some key points, breaking points, are gonna be around the end of the map, where the map changes from 180 BPM streams to actually 1/3 those, where 1/3 time signature, which means it's not a single tap and it's not really a stream, it's something in between.
Yeah, it's more of like, I guess you'd consider it, if you were playing DDR or something, to be like a gallop pattern in an extent. Gallops are usually like 1/3, 1/6
Indeed, yeah.
bumps. But that being said, we haven't really seen too bad of a transition. Like when it jumps to that transition, we haven't seen too many people lose accuracy. In terms of fluke misses, like you said, fours at the beginning with the flower petal jumps, you might see a drop there. Call it up to like nervous tension or just not being prepared. But usually that's not going to make or break anybody.
Indeed, because we've actually seen plenty of people mess up at the stream path. We do have some streams followed by some kick sliders, which are pretty much sliders representing a stream, by having the slider beginning and the slider ends to kind of be a stream or be two notes in a stream. But you just single tap them. But the transition of streaming to single tapping might throw some people off guard, even though in this case it's actually really easy in terms of spacing.
Yeah. All right. It looks like we're going to be getting in this next one right now.
Indeed. This map features so many elements which all of these players are used to by playing some drum and bass songs, which are ranked. A calm beginning before the storm.
The inevitable storm. And there we go, getting into our first bit of slider jumps here.
A few accuracy drops, but the streams are going to start and they're getting worse and worse by the time it goes on.
Angel Sim, just chilling at the 100%, like, no biggie.
And so is my aim sucks.
Now one can argue that his aim would suck, but that doesn't seem to be the problem at all.
Indeed, but it might suck relatively to other top players, for example, who are more aim-centric.
All right, and as we get further into this, absolutely crazy that Angel Sim and My Aim Sucks both still holding that double S. Machines, I tell you.
But I believe Angel Sim is gonna break the double S on the 1/3 part. Oh, but Mayhem Sucks just broke his double S on the slider.
Oh no. Now we will see a slight miss from Shockwave that happened a little bit earlier. As you can see, their combo is not at the full combo mark like the rest of the players. Now that could prove to hurt the Russian Federation here, but we've still got a little bit of map. Accuracy-wise, you know, they're doing pretty decent, but it's just not enough consistency to be able to get on South Korea's level here, as they have not broke yet, and that score continues to jump and jump, even with there being like 15% of the song left. I do not believe that they'll be able to pull back here. This is the cooldown section, and really they've gotten this in the bag. They managed to maintain it. We're going to see a 4-way team full combo on South Korea's side, and oh, Angel Sim being really gutsy there, spinning around.
Well, there's no real risk there, because even if he misses, he won't die, and there's no way to make up for the point difference.
Very true.
But yeah, unfortunately we see no double S's, which is to be expected, because this map just has so many different things going for it, which is going to make double S'ing really hard. The ending especially, because you have this really calm section. It's a lot more easy, or it's a lot easier to keep a rhythm on a constant basis, which keeps feeding you notes, than a rhythm which is gonna skip some notes and have notes every few seconds. It's a lot harder to keep a perfect pace in that case.
Yeah, speaking of which, another match that's also going on, because remember guys, simultaneously we have Finland versus New Zealand and Austria versus Greece playing as well. To give you guys an update, the New Zealand versus Finland match is 1-1 at the moment, and I'm trying to see.
Australia versus Greece is 3-0, and they're currently playing the Hard Rock Quick How Do You Do.
All right. Have they? Has Australia or Greece actually scored yet, or is this their first actual map?
I think they're actually 3-0 ahead. Australia is.
Oh wow!
Are these 3-0 up?
Understandably, because the next most important match for Australia is going to be against Latvia, which is actually following this match.
All right, and it looks like Golden Slaughter is going to be our next map here. I haven't really gotten to see this one too much, so I'm kind of excited. Most of the matches I have casted for this weekend have seen this song banned out, so this is kind of interesting.
I understand not really picking this song, because it is a little bit weird, to be fair. I mean, it is a older map, around 2011, 2012 mapping. So you're gonna feel that when playing it, but the interesting part in this song is that, well, for starters, it's 200 BPM, not too fast, but it's still on the faster side than normally. But it has 1/6 patterns, which is gonna end up having bursts of 300 BPM in the beginning a few times and at the end once, which is going to throw some people off guard, and it's going to be the reason why there's so little or almost no SS on this map in the top 50 leaderboards. And these 1/6 patterns, these really fast bursts, are going to lead into a slider. And you need to be in single play on Score V1, you can just spam over them and hope that your speed is enough to assess the 1/6 patterns, and the slider can be off-timed or mistimed, which is fine. but when playing this map in Scorby 2, you're gonna have to keep up on top of your speed for the entirety of the 300 BPM burst. And we've seen so many players break on it before, and that's why it's a little bit risky. Also, there's some 200 BPM longer streams at the end of the map.
If I could quickly interject, Australia 4-0.
And that is how they wrote it. Australia playing incredibly well then.
Interestingly enough, though, Ribbon from Greece was actually getting the highest score across most of the maps.
Ooh, we're actually going to see a very early break from Netta here on this. And with this being a double time pick, I'm assuming that there's not a whole lot of room for mistake here if you want to make sure and take a victory on this.
Well, there can be plenty of breaks at the 200 BPM streaming section, and they've actually got Talala coming in, which is a well-known player to be really fast. So he's definitely capable of the 1.6 burst and the 200 BPM streams at the end of the map.
Yeah, it does look like that early bit of combo there is going to give the Russian Federation a slight point advantage, but it is not by much at this moment.
And slowly but surely the hard part is gonna come in.
Yeah, and Umberland actually dropping right before the hard part really set in there. Definitely going to hurt. As you can see, South Korea is just managing to hold consistency over this section, and with that consistency, they are pulling ahead very far.
And some accuracy drops because they want 6 pattern, the burst, but all is fine. There's still going to be come up. There's still going to be a stream with some repeat sliders at the end, which is a little bit awkward to play.
Yeah, we see Umberland finding himself another miss on that very awkward section. As you pointed out, it does look like we're seeing very consistent play from South Korea here, as the Russian Federation giving them a run for their money. She would say Red Pixel and Tralala all holding incredible combo here. It's just not going to be enough here, as South Korea is going to be able to take that third point.
Indeed, unfortunately, 2 slider breaks by Berlin. But even judging by the accuracies, it would have been a win by South Korea, even if Berlin kept his combo.
Yeah, it's just that level of consistency that's so scary and that we've gotten so used to. I mean, you really got to be on your A game to be able to score a point on South Korea there. Russian Federation found that first point, and we're in a really good place, but South Korea is definitely not letting any tension up now.
Yeah, but it's still anyone's game, and the Russian Federation needs to think of something to pull themselves together, because this is South Korea's pick again, and they're going for a remake, the second 1OK Rock map.
Who knows? We might see another victory off 1OK. Maybe that's how they're going to do this. They need to remake their effort. Ha ha ha.
Oh lord, the puns are gonna start. That's when I noticed that you've gotten enough coffee and you're slowly waking up. But I think Kurt might come in for the Russian Federation side, because it is a rather old map and this is kind of his specialty. But I can also imagine Index coming in for the harder on this map, but it's a little bit awkward to play, I'd say, because I don't know, the patterns definitely scream, hello, I'm on a 2011 map.
Very much so. And, you know, the thing about older maps is, like, timing and knowing when to stop, because one thing that wasn't as apparent as it is today is maps weren't exactly always flowy, and even if they were, like, nowadays you've got jump maps. You're kind of ready for what a jump map entails. You know that there's going to be lots of star patterns. You know that the spacing is going to fluctuate. Spacing is usually based on intensity and music. Sometimes even back in the day, in 2011 time, it was just like, how can we set these notes to this song and make it difficult, but yet make it fun and not as aesthetically pleasing? Let's be honest here, guys. As what we see today, but definitely not bad by any means.
Indeed, but the important thing about this is that I feel that the maps nowadays have a more gradual spacing increase, while they have a longer set of jumping sets of notes, for example, like just more jumps in general, and they slowly, gradually build up to get, for example, to a full screen jump. While on this map, in particular, you have pretty calm spacing all the time, but then there are 2 sections or 3 sections where you suddenly have a full screen square or a full screen triangle jump, followed by a really small spacing and then a 5x burst, a 5 note burst. That's just, I mean, you still have the crazy jumps in the old maps. It's not by any means, but
yeah, but back then they were just like, ha, I bet you can't full combo this. They weren't set as much. I don't feel that they were set as much musically as more as like, okay, you're doing really well now. I want to break you. Here's how I'm gonna do it. And there's nothing wrong with mapping for difficulty in that aspect at all. But you know, as a player from those older times, I will say at least one thing about newer maps: you don't feel cheated as much. You know, you don't feel like, oh man, I was just destroying this. Perfect accuracy, no problem. Wait, what was that?
Yeah,
you don't just get those random drops. Now you're just going to drop because you're bad. It's like, oh, you can't do a full screen jump? Well, sorry, buddy. This map is 35% full screen jumps. Welcome to 2016.
Indeed, while they shove many jumps into your face, you get used to it. It's kind of the same argument as having a consistent rhythm fed to you, consistent 1/2 rhythm, for example, than just having a lot of time between the notes. It's a lot easier to get a good accuracy on a consistent rhythm, which gives you plenty of notes. That's the same aspect as with this jump. It's a lot easier to jump around on a high space and keep on jumping that way than to just immediately stop into an anti-jump, which suddenly reduces spacing by so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing with older maps is we saw streams being a lot more condensed than they are today. And that definitely does affect players that have gotten, you know, really good at more recent maps. Like, these kind of maps could possibly be slip-ups for them, as, you know, most people are so used to streams being so free-forming now, being able to go from being condensed to super stretched out, and the same combo even sometimes nowadays.
Indeed, that's definitely evolved quite a lot. But just looking at the plays for a second and focusing on the match, we see a 4x mod coming from South Korea, not wanting to go nomad on this.
Very true. Taking an entire hard rock approach here, but accuracy, hard rock's really tricky now with score v2. Like, you can be really good at hard rock and that extra score will help you, but if your accuracy dips below 95%, I feel like it's almost like moot. I mean, yeah, I guess I can understand that the combo is still going to be there and help you. But if the Russian Federation stays consistent here, as you can see, the scores are bouncing back and forth between them. So the hard rock, even though all 4 members have it, it's not really doing as much as they'd like, because we see some people like Eon down there at the 95 mark, Netta at the 94 mark, and we will see a drop from Eon as well. This
Indeed.
could possibly be a second point for the Russian Federation with a little less than half of the song left.
Yeah, but on your argument against Hardwick in this case, I'll throw you a counter-argument, which is some people are a lot more comfortable on approach attempt, which is the main reason to pick Hardwick on for the free mods.
Very true. I mean, like, the higher approach rate definitely can make you feel comfortable, especially if, like, speed is your forte and your reading ability. All these players at this point, reading ability shouldn't be a problem. So if you're really good at the high approach rate, I can understand using Hard Rock to feel more comfortable, especially with older maps. Because, I mean, the chances of an older map having a lower approach rate is pretty high.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for example, in the former solo map in the free mod pool, pretty much shows that everyone picking Hard Rock on it. Oh, and they actually managed to get the last triangle jump. Oh! Actually, Tarolas and Netta are all missing, but then again, we do see Kurt and Umberlin missing, and so did Angel Sim, but it's enough for the Russian Federation to take this.
Yes, they are going to prevent a win there from South Korea. If they can get one more point, we will see tiebreaker hype, man. Great way to start this morning.
Indeed, we might see a reverse sweep. I mean, anything is possible. Just looking at the teams, all of these teams are just capable of doing wonderful things. And Kurt and Umberlin almost making it a 4-way FC for the Russian Federation. Even if it would end up being a tiebreaker, I wouldn't be too sure which team would win. I would say 60-40 for South Korea if it came to the tiebreaker.
All right, I'm really interested on seeing what they're going to play here. We've seen 5 maps played out now. I wonder if we're going to see any Nightcore love. I really like that Hard Rock pick in this pool.
Yeah, I think Russian Federation might go for a Hard Rock pick, actually. I mean, just looking at the South Korea lineup, just struggling with the accuracy there. But then again, the Russian side might not have 4 players comfortable with Hard Rock, but only a few which did pick Hard Rock as a mod at the last map. I actually think that the DT might be another avenue to attack or another free mod.
Yeah, that is very possible. Fremont might be played in.
But they're going for another push at 8 map, Taka, on no mod.
All right.
That's actually, as far as I know, one of the more popular maps, despite it being approach at 8. That just shows that having an approach at 8 map in so many different pools of the tournament is really important, because we do have approach at 8 in no mod, hidden, and free mod. And we did see what happens with the approach at 8 hidden and the Blumenkranz map, which is getting banned all the time. But you only have one ban, so you can't ban all the approach at 8 maps. So then you're left with people who want to force you to play approach at 8, which is going to be the snowball.
Yeah, I can totally understand that too. And I feel like it's kind of interesting to see so many people, like approach rate 8 is something, 7, 8, 6, 5. I don't care. I could pretty much play easy mod at this point. Like, low approach rates don't bother me. But I do understand why they bother high-end players, because as someone that's been able to like read 9 and 10, like once you get on a big kick of just like playing nothing but 9 or 10, you go back to 8 and it's like, whoa, this is so slow. And that so slow can make mistakes that you normally wouldn't make happen. And
Indeed.
Missed timings. And it's just because your body you get muscle memory and reaction time to a specific speed, and then when you're introduced to a speed that you're not used to, hilarity ensues.
Indeed, but this goes back to the aspect of you're good at what you keep on playing, and if you just keep on playing your approach at 9 or approach at 10, you're gonna be good at it, no worries, but you're gonna lack in all the other aspects. Same if you just keep on playing double time one-sidedly or just no mod. But going back to this pick, it is going to be Steinsgate, Skyclad, no something, because I don't really want to try my best at pronouncing the map. It's, let's just call it the Approach 8 Nomad pick. And it's 167 BPM, so on the rather slower side. The most interesting aspects of this map, or the patterns, are gonna be back and forth patterns, which are actually on the sides of the screens, contrasting the normal spacing from the map. But I believe all of these players should be comfortable on this Approach 8 map. But so will be the Korea side actually. This is gonna be Russian's pick, and we do see the first miss coming in from Index. We do see the back and forth jumps coming in. That's gonna be a theme of the map happening quite frequently. And the ending is a little bit tricky to act and to properly time on because of the kick sliders and the weird spacing changes. Miss coming in from Neta. He also has a few accuracy draws, but looking at the rest of the Korean lineup, just stellar accuracy throughout. But this might give Russian Federation the time to come back, because Index is building up a big combo. And the accuracy is actually in their favor, and Mayim Sucks and Red Pixel both missing. The Russians are in the lead, but there are more back and forth jumps. Mayim Sucks is losing it. Unfortunately, in this case his aim really sucks. But there's gonna be an ending part which might still turn things around, because there's only a 100,000 point difference. But Neta and Mayim Sucks make it an even bigger difference by missing once again the awkward pattern coming in, the kick sliders, following Red Pixel missing, and Neta as well. But it's gonna be the tiebreaker. A 3-3 tie on the Approach 8 pick against South Korea. Oh boy, and we do have the tiebreaker situation. Well, I will give the favor, or at least the advantage, to South Korea, but you do not want to count the Russian Federation out. I'm gonna expect Shiomasa to come in for the tiebreaker, because he's definitely a man who has balls of steel when it comes to these situations. South Korea swapping some players up. Mayim Sucks is definitely going to stay in here despite his last performance. Sometimes these fluke misses just happen in tournament settings. Sometimes you just gotta accept that kind of thing, but it doesn't really devalue him as a player, because he'll have plenty of cases. I mean, he showed in the previous maps that he definitely is able to play on this level and a play of this caliber. And the tiebreaker is actually gonna favor him quite well, because Mayim Sucks really likes technical maps, and it's really hard to get accuracy on these maps, but Mayim Sucks is definitely gonna get good accuracy on it. Alright, and breaking news just in, apparently stats update is gonna come in. So far in this group stage, no team has beaten Japan yet. Great job by Japan to keep on being undefeated in this year's OWC World Cup.
Oh man.
And welcome back, Seatrots. Man, we got a tiebreak on our hands.
I see that, man, and no way did I call this one. I thought for sure, and like, I feel a little bit bad. I thought for sure we were going to see South Korea just make a clean sweep of this, but I am glad to be wrong, as the Russian Federation is right on their butts, telling them, hey, you're going to work for this win. And that is exactly what they're going to have to do. And if they don't work hard enough, Russian Federation's like, we'll just take the win for ourselves.
Indeed, this will be quite interesting. It's actually gonna be Enon coming in. Asia Sim, Mayim Sucks. I really like those picks. Enon, Lavars, and Mike maybe with like a Tarolas coming in, but who knows, maybe he's not even there. And if that's gonna be the lineup of the Russian side, it's actually looking pretty decent. I definitely like their lineup, what they picked for this one. Oh, and this is actually going to be my aim sucks with the hidden.
Ooh, that is very that's bold, but then again, that's kind of about what Korea is about. You know, South Korea manages to pull off these amazing plays in very clutch situations. So this might turn out to be a great strategy for them, or it could also, you know, end up being a very big mistake later on.
Indeed, but Mayim sucks at least. He's really comfortable on the hidden mod. So this wouldn't be really a case of over modding. He's used to focusing really hard on the music, and hidden is gonna make this harder for him at all. And if he misses because of fluke miss, he would have missed on no mod as well.
Very true.
Is really prone to randomly missing because he focuses so much on accuracy and rhythm.
Well, one of the beautiful things about Hidden is it is one of those mods where once you've used it enough, even with hidden notes that are stacked underneath each other, once you've gotten down to reading stuff, you can pretty much just dictate where something's going to pop up just by, you know, constantly playing the mod. It is one of the only readable, ooh, and there's that fluke miss that you're talking about. She was also going to find a miss as well.
Indeed, but I mean, just look at this accuracy, absolutely astonishing accuracy. He's definitely gonna get a lot of the 300,000 points aspect of Score V2.
Oh, for sure. But as I was saying, Hidden is one of the visual adjustment mods that can be read, and even with more changes that have happened to Hidden here recently, they're not exactly new, but the fact that sliders now do fully disappear, I think was something that should have been done from the beginning. Inan going to find himself a miss as well for South Korea's side. Will this be a potential chance for the Russian Federation to pull ahead?
There are plenty of places to miss on for the Russian Federation side.
And it does look like the score has pulled if they can stay consistently like this. There's still half a map left, though. This is going to be a very tough battle.
Mayim sucks still doing his thing, racking up the highest accuracy in the entire lobby.
Yeah, the scores are not that far apart here. The Russian Federation catching that early break with Inan dropping as well.
I mean, just compare sheer varsity to Mayim sucks. They pretty much both missed twice and are still building up another combo, but because of the hidden difference and the accuracy difference, there's just 70,000 points in difference between those two guys.
And in Score V2, every point counts here as we're getting into close to about the 35% mark remaining on this song.
Oh, and that's a miss by Kurtz.
Oh, that is really going to hurt the Russian Federation here. This might be just what South Korea needed here. If they can keep that consistency up, that entire huge score lead that the Russian Federation did create will diminish very quickly.
Oh, and there's a lot on the line, because coming in, if South Korea is gonna lose this, they will face Poland in the round of 16, which is a team you do not want to face. They were undefeated so far in their group stage.
Oh, it's getting right down to the wire. This one's going to be intense.
The accuracy is still on point for Mayim sucks. How the hell does he do this?
Magic, and as we say magic here, it does look like the score has switched back over for South Korea. If they can hold this for the remainder of the song, they've got this, but a single drop from anybody could mean Russian Federation take.
And Anon is actually dropping a lot of accuracy, but which slowly gives more points to Russian Federation. But as long as they keep it calm, it's gonna be enough.
No matter how you look at it, though, this is a very well fought out tiebreaker. And as we get to that last spin here, it is going to be a very clean win for South Korea there, over 120,000 point difference. Pulling that in, very impressive plays from both sides there.
And I just want to highlight the Mayhem sucks, the 300s, 150 and 1 miss. Absolutely nuts accuracy. If it weren't for the miss and adding the hidden on top of that, that's just absolutely nuts. But congratulations to South Korea for being the first seed in their group and Russian Federation being the second seed. There's not going to be any changes because they all won their respective matches already. So it will be Russian Federation against Poland in the round of 16.
Oh man.
Yeah, facing off against one Titan, jumping to the next one. Poland is also one of the top 4 teams in the tournament.
All right, so we should be moving into our next match rather quickly. Just need to find out which one we are going to cover here.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Australia versus Latvia.
All right.
Which is another really important match because this will decide the second seed of the group. Australia being the second seed in the group currently, and Latvia the third seed. But now it's important who will advance to the next stage of the tournament.
Oh, I do like this song that they've got playing here, but it looks like we're going to the next warm up here.
Oh, it actually is going to be Chocobo, and Box is rolling with the easy mode. Chocobo, one of the more well-known maps, older maps, mostly because it's actually pretty insanely mapped for an old map. It starts off actually pretty tame, but you know, adding the low approach rate on top of everything is gonna make it hard, and the low CS. But the ending has just so many squares and so many sharp angles which pretty much gives this map the cult status it has.
Oh yeah,
because people play.
A little bit of a fun fact for this one too. If I'm not mistaken, this is an MTMCL map, correct? Well, definitely from the box. The boxy style of this map definitely reminds me of that, and one of the reasons why these things are so hard is, like you said, Forrest, it's the approach rate really that really gets people, as the map itself isn't really too difficult, but that slow approach rate can really trip you up.
Indeed, and then the spacing at the ending is gonna just amplify the difficulty of the approach rate in reading. Just look at the spacing here. I mean, we definitely can see the difference between players who are somewhat used to these kind of maps and others who are absolutely not. there's a really clean divide between those two types of players.
Yeah, and as you can see, we're seeing a lot of fluke misses here. Box trying to play with easy. Oh, I didn't notice that till just now.
Easy actually makes this map a little bit more manageable because most players already know the map a little bit by seeing it so many times. So Easy isn't gonna make it too much more difficult because of the increased CS. But yeah, that actually will be a win by Latvia in the Chocobo warm-up map. Even though they got a DD.
Joined now by one of Australia's highest level players, in fact, the highest level player, Tokishi.
and it's the second move is going to be the interview from Tokichi.
Hi, good thanks. You?
Joined now by one of Australia's highest level players, in fact, the highest level player.
The background story behind this map, behind this audio clip, is that Tokichi, formerly an Australian player, the #1 Australian player, got interviewed by a local news group, some kind of group, or maybe even a gaming group. I'm not entirely sure. And this is the snippet. This is the snippet of the tournament of the interview, and yeah, I've no clue what it's about. And that's Tokichi, ladies and gentlemen.
Joined now by one of Australia's highest level players, in fact, the highest level player. How's it going? Joined now by one of Australia's
Oh god, that was amazing.
the highest level player, Tokishi.
Unfortunately, this isn't too irrelevant to Australia anymore because Tokichi did deport to China. He left Australia behind.
Oh man. Quality map, guys.
Well, that's exactly what I like to see from Australia. Well, yeah, now we'll get the overhead out of the way of rolling and banning. For now, Citro, who do you think will win this?
That's a really good one here. I'd like to say that Australia might have it. I haven't seen too much of Latvia's play. So I hope that, now some names on Latvia's side, like Wayworm and Foreseen, definitely are familiar faces to me. So we have seen them play before, but Australia's been getting really strong as of late. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a very close match here, but I'm gonna put my money on Australia at this moment.
Alright, then I'm just gonna put my money, for fairness sake, on Latvia. Because I would argue that Latvia, unfortunately, only has a four-man team, is pretty limited in their approach to it, but they do have really good quality players. Like Emil and Jesus Christ, even though they might not be too familiar for most people, they are really good and have shown that they're extremely good in other tournaments. But Australia, definitely, I agree, has gotten really strong, and it's gonna be an uphill battle for Latvia. But I still believe in my Latvian homeboys here. Jesus Christ, a good friend of mine, so I'm gonna have to, I have to root for them.
Oh man.
But yeah, I believe Australia's approach to this match should be that Latvia's disadvantage of having only four people playing. Really, that's gonna be the important part to attack. Because you have people who are not necessarily good at approach at 8 and you force them to pretty much play it. But obviously you're gonna need approach at 8 players for that. So as long as Australia has the right key components, they can or the right tools to use against Latvia, that's gonna be plenty to win this.
All right, and it looks like we're going with FI for our first pick here, which is a free mod pick. So we should see a lot of mod play here. And this is a good way to gauge, like Australia, very good pick on their end. That's a good way to gauge the mod play from Latvia. You know, you go into it with a free mod and you're going to see what they play from. And like you said, they've only got the 4 rosters. So right here, this is a good way to gauge what they're comfortable in doing.
I'm gonna expect a hardware coming in from Jesus Christ, and then potentially a hidden by Foreseen or a hard rock by Foreseen. Might even be Emula coming from the side and going hard rock. But on the Australian side, I believe the reason why they picked this is because they played this map so many times so far and have performed wonderfully on it. Box, for example, have seen with only 4 100s. And one of these rather weird spelled names like Uiti or It's Gui or something, you know, these two Australian players in the lower parts of the screen. One of them has seeded the map with only hard rock on 4 100s, which is absolutely nuts actually. So they're really comfortable with this kind of map. And I don't even know how to pronounce these 2 Australian players. That's really awkward to pronounce. It's even more awkward than my name.
I want to say the one on the right is Ifgu, and then you get it. I don't know. That is actually your guess.
We're gonna need, yeah, we're gonna need some. I don't know. We're gonna need some inside information.
I feel like Locktab has it right. Gibberish and reverse gibberish.
I actually feel like I'm kind of missing the joke. There's gotta be some kind of joke behind the name. Alright, I'm gonna expect only 2 mods coming in from both teams rather than overmodding to 4 mods or something, because I don't think they will necessarily need this on this map. The BMS FI map is just 180 BPM streams all around and then transitioning from those streams into kick sliders, which are a lot chumpier. So you're gonna have these extreme contrast of just following the streams perfectly and then going to the kick sliders. Also a noteworthy aspect of the map is that it is CS free.
Yes, and it looks like we are going to actually see Hard Rock plays, 2 Hard Rock players on Latvia's side and 2 on Australia's side. So mod-wise, we are, you know, pretty equal. Dummy is actually going to see a early drop, which isn't too bad there, as they're one of the no-mod players. That's going to hurt them a little bit less than if it was one of their Hard Rock mods.
Indeed, I mean, just look at the stellar accuracy from the bottom left Australian player. I'm not going to pronounce his name anymore. At least I'm not going to try. Well, we do see Jesus Christ and Emula going for the Hard Rock.
Yeah. This map is pretty chill for the most part. The streams are very flowy. That's one nice thing about Charles maps. The most problem you might have here is that these 1/4 sliders that are set in jumps here are usually they're made with slider leniency in mind. So Score V2 does make it a little bit harder to combo here, as we see a lot of people drop on the slider transition. It looks like Box was the only one to drop there for that last transition though.
Indeed, those kick sliders are definitely a pain to deal with. Oh, so many breaks coming from the Latvian side at the end.
All right, so that is going to be a victory for Australia, winning their first pick. And the MVP of that map was Ugidi. That's what I'm going to call him, with 1,057,100 points. Ugidi, you did it! MVP!
Ugidi. Oh, that's actually pretty decent to pronounce. So Ugidi and reverse Ugidi. That's just how I'm going to call the second one.
It's you, and then you get it. That's how I'm gonna. That's how I'm gonna. That's how I'm gonna.
That's really decent. That's a decent approach and a decent try at the name pronunciation.
Yeah,
I like it.
which is absolutely hilarious because 9 times out of 10 I'm mispronouncing names.
Yeah, at least that's a really good effort on that part. Better than trying to pronounce some Japanese titles. Thank God the next map is going to be still a Japanese song, but it's gonna be an English title. Thank God for that, because it's gonna be Dreamwalker. Dreamwalker by Ritter, which is I believe the producer is gonna be Taishi, and Taishi makes some really cool songs. Like Taishi is this just as a fun fact, the guy behind most of the background noise you hear. Rita is just gonna be the singer, but Taishi makes some really interesting songs with all the background instruments coming together. Well, this is gonna be at Swipe Map 5 star. Approach it 9.1, just I believe to be edgy, because why not? And OD 8.9, because you'd never want to have round numbers. Why should you? And the important part about this map is the length, because it's 4 minutes long, adding to the fact to that it's OD9, and it's actually pretty easy with some weird jumps and really big jump increases, reminding me of the 1OK Rock remake map. So those are things to watch out for.
Yeah. Hey, no, get off me, bad kitty. Sorry about that. Ooh.
Oh, Kitty probably heard the producer Taishi and was like, yeah, I want a piece of that. Well, that's gonna be interesting. This is a Nomad pick coming in from Team Latvia. People, even though players like Jesus Christ are most familiar with the 100 mod, I believe maybe something as in free mod might also be a good avenue to attack on for Latvian side. But if they prepare this pick, then the more power to them. Alright, and I believe Seatroot has officially died and this cat has taken over.
Yeah, what are the PSR? Hopefully he should have his
Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize. No, it's not a cat, it's kittens. I just got swarmed. I'm guessing they got let out of the den, so I gotta go put them back up before they cause problems. I will be right back.
Alright.
Until then, Forrest will keep you guys updated. Deadbeat will be there for backup. Very interesting match here. I hope to see. I'm definitely going to still be watching. I just got to take care of small meows.
Alright, so while Peter is knocking on Seatroot's door, we're gonna keep on looking at the match, which is hopefully gonna start anytime soon. And there we go. There are some patterns to look out for, which is, for example, a really big jump at the bottom part of the screen out of nowhere, actually. Even though the song is mostly really, really calm. It's a drum and bass song and pretty much stays on the same notes. Perhaps a few ups and downs there, but more downs than ups, really. But there are some really interesting patterns coming in. Swipe has definitely tried to get his creativity going for this map, rather than just keeping the same spacing on a drum and bass map. I believe we do see an early miss coming in by Foreseen. but that's not gonna be too much of a deal because of the length of the map.
Yeah, I think this is one of the longer no-mod picks, so there's plenty of time to come back.
Indeed, playing these kind of maps is always really stressful because it's really important to keep on top of your game. Like it's if guy or it's guy, it's Q it was. I forgot. I need Citra to pronounce these names for me. It's Q has already missed, and that might just pack a punch at his motivation and just in his confidence for the rest of the map. You know, tilting on the map is a real thing. And we do see another miss by Weber. Australian side is lacking a few combos. And a miss by Foreseen in the first third, or after the first third of the map. He still has some opportunities to build up a combo. But he did miss right before the really slow part, which should be pretty much free combo. Going into the second half of the map, it's just going to be plenty of the same patterns again. And missing at this point in the map is going to be the worst thing you can do, because you're going to get the lowest combo possible. And the higher combo is, the more worth it is, even on score 2. The most points out of combo you get is by the last few circles, and we do see Waven miss. And I think as long as Australia is gonna keep the combo advantage and is not gonna miss, that's gonna be their win. It's time to enjoy this calming song, even though it's actually really stressful situations for most of these players. Another 2 misses coming in from Latvia, which is from Jesus Christ and Waver. It's gonna seal the deal, and it's gonna give Australia the advantage and the pick with high certainty. There are a few awkward slider timings at the end, dropping some accuracies, but I don't think it'll be enough to warrant some combo drops. Except for the jump right there for its guy, its Q. The pick has unfortunately backfired for Team Latvia. They definitely need something else to combat Australia. And now it's gonna be another pick of Australia. And they do have the roster advantage that they can just swap out any players necessary to get the best possible lineup for the song. While on Latvia, they are forced to play with these 4 people. But judging by the history of Australia, I would imagine a nomad pick is going to follow suit. Oh, and Jesus Christ with the biased statement is gonna come in. Oh, I thank you very much, Jesus Christ.
You've gained yourself another fan.
Yeah, but this is on the level of, you know, your mom rooting for you. Because Jesus Christ is a fan, is a friend, and that's pretty much why he's forced to be a fan.
Hey man, a +1 is a +1.
you do have a point. Well, that's actually gonna be Utopia, which is a hard rock pick in this current lineup. Good choice because the Australian side is really strong in terms of hard rock.
Yeah, Utopia is a very fun map as well.
Not one we've seen that much of though.
Yeah, we have not seen too much of it, which is unfortunate.
It is currently a few picks, I believe.
And it's gonna follow suit from one drum and bass song to the next one. Another really calm song, even though this is a really stressful situation. I mean, who knows? Latvia might just chill and enjoy this moment, this occasion, to play in the OWC.
Yeah, and I do apologize for that sudden absence. Sorry to leave you hanging there, Forz. I just had kitty problem.
No problem, I understand.
So it looks like Australia secured that second point while I was away, huh?
Indeed, the pick backfired because of some early misses by Foreseen and then late misses by Jesus Christ and Waven. While the Australian side did hold more combos, but wasn't really up to par either. It was just 2 FCs against 1.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. It always sucks to get a broke point on your pick.
Indeed, but who knows? Latvia definitely looked better last year around, and the years before that. So this might be just accepting the inevitable by losing soon. I mean, it's the same for Austria. My team also has the same situation where we only have 5 people in the team, and yeah, it's really awkward trying to swap out people where the 5th player is not really specialized in anything and is just there because he got picked immediately because of having no other choice. So stuff like that just kind of happens because not enough people register, even though you have a bunch of players in your country. So guys, next year just come out there and register, even if you think you might not make it. At least you might make your country look like it has more players than 4, in Latvia's case.
Very true. Like, even if you're just a bench warmer, there's still that chance you might find a map that you just own at, and that could be all the difference from making it through group stage to seeing the round of 16.
Indeed. I mean, 4-digit players shouldn't be underestimated because they definitely can show progress on these kind of maps. What's coming into this map, it's gonna be the 100 pick. Lots of early accuracy drops to be understood, completely understandable because you gotta get used to the BPM and the approach rate. It's just the nature of tournaments, swapping from so many different maps.
Very much so. And this song without hard rock is very easy to double S. So adding hard rock in there, I could see it creating a little bit of difficulty here, but we are seeing most of the people here holding relatively high accuracies. Australia, while holding decent combo there for a little bit, their accuracy did dip, and this might be a chance for Latvia to come back.
Indeed, I mean these early drops, just one drop more from the Latvian side is gonna give them the win. Congratulations to Australia getting the 3rd point and being on match points now. The match points, and it'll be Latvia's pick, I believe.
Yeah, and if Australia keeps this up, we will see a clean sweep this morning.
Yeah, and the problem is that we can't really pick anything except fun map because in the different terms of skill sets, they always lack a few people which are good at it. For example, if you want to pick a Pro Shot 8, you might have Waven and Foreseen perform really well on it, but then you have Jesus Christ and Muller struggling on it. And those kind of situations on all the different maps isn't going to make the ideal perfect pick for Latvia.
Yeah, that 50-50 split is just unfortunate. In that aspect, because like you said, you know, you've got two of them that are okay with AR8, and then you have two that aren't. Oh, come on, Kitty, no.
And then you have a kitty.
Yeah, well, this one's my actual big cat. It's not a kitten. She's just. Come on.
Well, at least you have a fancy shot.
Shit! Apologize. I just got clawed up. Owie. No, I AFK this time, guys. I just got slashed in the chest, and now she's gone. No problem. Ow!
All right, no problem. She just wanted to assert dominance, no problem. But Latvia is also trying to assert dominance over this match, trying to get the dominance back, and they're trying to go for the approach at 8 pick actually. I don't know. This is really risky, as I mentioned previously. It's not perfect for the Latvian side because they need some more specialized people for this. And look at Australia, just swapping all the players out who are not comfortable on approach at 8. And yeah, that's just gonna show a lot of the Australian side of things.
Yeah, Australia doing incredibly well here, and Skyclad is definitely one of them kind of maps where anything can happen.
Indeed, but we do have some really good lower approach players like Box, for example. I think he has seeded this map pretty much every time, or at least almost has seeded every time they played it so far. And despite this being approach 8, it's really popular. Now, who would have thought actually? Most of the community hates low approach rates and just low approach rates in general and in a higher level. But in the tournament settings, they're one of the most popular picks. But that's just because of the nature of it all, because so many people dislike approach 8, so you can take advantage of it, and it doesn't matter if you're not perfect on it. It just matters as long as you're better than the enemies on it.
Yeah, this should be pretty interesting here.
Alright, potentially the last match, or last map for the Latvian side and Australian side, I believe.
All right, so we're just getting ready for everybody to ready up here. Lots of good sportsmanship going on between Australia and Latvia, though. Everybody's saying good luck, have fun, you know, and that's great. I love to see matches where we have good sports, you know. Every once in a while, it's unfortunate, but you can have sore winners, and that is never really a great thing. So it's awesome that every World Cup we've seen as the years go by, it seems to be more and more civil, which is fantastic in my opinion.
Indeed. That's also one of the most important things, I believe, in the entire tournament scene, or at least that's why I play tournaments, is because you know so many people, you get to know people, and you just say hi and stuff. Unfortunately, this doesn't work as well with some Asian teams, but actually players like on the Chinese side and Taiwanese side are actually opening up to the community. Previously, they were just pretty much shut into their own kind of borders, I guess you could say. But nowadays, they're opening up a lot, and actually, you know, part of the memes currently, which are reigning over the entire of OS.
Man, Forrest, is from somebody from back in 2008. I can definitely tell you that is like one of the best things. The diversity and more open-mindedness towards the entire game, not just the mapping scene, but the tournament scene, everything is seen a lot more global contributions from everybody now, and that makes it a lot better. And yes, like you said, everybody's taking part in the memes now. Everybody's included. And that's great. We will see a drop from Weber and Lunaris there. Amula also dropping, but that's still going to leave the lead in favor of Australia.
Yeah, but the combo advantage is a little bit in Australia, just because of Wayron's really early miss. But 4-scene with the double S currently. We do see this struggling by Emula and Jesus Christ currently.
Yeah, Mula will find another miss there. And that is quite unfortunate for Latvia. They're trying to prevent a complete shutout here. Forseen doing a very excellent job here. Wayward also holding a very high accuracy. But unfortunately, the consistency on Australia's side is just a little bit too strong.
Indeed, it seems like accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior isn't enough for the Latvian team. They definitely need more than that. Pretty much seals the deal currently. The Australian side is proving to be really strong on these kind of picks. It could be definitely stronger, but it's enough for the group stage approach to the 8 map against Latvia.
And that is going to be a clean sweep for Australia there. Very impressive plays from everybody around. And it just goes to show Latvia gave it their all, but being limited to the 4-member team definitely seems to be hurting them here.
Indeed, it's a 4-0. Well, it might have looked really different if Latvia had a few more players to swap in for certain picks. But good luck to Latvia next year, where they have potentially even more fresh blood to get even further into the tournament 3. And Jesus Christ currently talking about how his mom came into the room and put a hot plate on his hand. Thanks, Mom. Moms are pretty much the heart counter of every single OS player.
Oh, of course.
You
That or
might
your
want-
animal.
Yeah, that or your animal, exactly. I mean, in your case especially.
Yeah.
Some might think, well, how do we counter Kokisi? I mean, do we pick Hidden Hardrock? No, we just pick his mom against him and he's gonna see the
All right. So, anywho, we have moved over to the Netherlands versus Indonesia match, as you can see on stream. We're going through Skyclad once again. The score is 1-1 at the moment.
And it's the same approach to the 8 map as before. But the combos are really good for the Netherlands side, also the accuracies. Amnesia still holding the double S.
Ooh, there might be a potential connection issue for long existence. Hopefully, they are still playing and their score will be submitted here, as we are way past the 30% mark on this thing. So if there is a drop from him, that is going to be incredibly unfortunate.
Indeed, I mean, depending on when he decide, if he decide in the first 30 seconds, then there might be a rematch. But looking at as they just played until this part of the map, this is the ending, I don't think it will be that. It's gonna be another point for the Netherlands. Oh, but then SJ Sammer died at the end because he completely butchered up the patterns.
Oh, that is not good.
And I think that actually is gonna be a point for the Indonesian side, a 3 versus 3 in the end. That came absolutely out of nowhere. Maybe it was just his mom coming in and countering him, because that was really uncharacteristic.
Actually looks like Netherlands will pull that as a victory, even with the fail there, as Indonesia did see a disconnect there, so that definitely hurt their score. Only 100,000 point difference, roughly, between the two.
Oh,
If long existence wouldn't have DC'd, that would have been a victory for Indonesia.
indeed. Looking at the end of the match, if it would have been a 3-4, then that definitely would have been a big difference. But the Netherlands, we are used to seeing a bunch of fails from the Netherlands at the end of the map, losing them the score. They've been pulling quite a few Wapu at the end. I mean, we did see that yesterday.
Oh, okay. So my score was a little bit on the bug side there. It says that Blue actually only won that by 19,710 points. So that was a lot closer than we thought.
Indeed. So apparently the tournament client was just showing the wrong numbers, which, you know, just as an information for everyone who watches in the stream, that's absolutely normal, because sometimes packets drop and sometimes information might not be 100% up to date. If you want to know the real result of something happening, just look at the MP link. You have the raw values sent by the clients and have everything updated and sorted and synced up.
Yeah, and the MP link will always be the go-to. Like, if there's ever a reason where we have to, like, break it down and it's too close to call, the MP link will always have the detailed information directly from the client.
Indeed.
Ooh, nice. It looks like we're going to go with How Do You Do. Not to be confused with the other Nightcore How Do You Do. This one is the Casada remix, and super fun.
So it's gonna be the Hardrock map, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So Hardrock coming in, I'm not sure what they played to get to 1-1.
Yeah, this one's going to be... Excuse me, sorry about that.
Bless you.
Oof. This one is pretty simple. If you've got the main beat line down, even with hard rock, not as difficult as you might think. But this one is very easy to make some accidental accuracy drops on. Dropping combo isn't very I wouldn't say it's very apparent or something that we'll probably see too much, but accuracy drops. This one's definitely an accuracy fight.
I actually would disagree in that case, because we've seen so many misses on this map. It's not as long as a usually 130 TV size map, but it's not as long as a full song either at 3 minutes, which is a little bit weird to play.
I guess my Nightcore bias is setting in.
And we've seen so many players miss on this map, and it would just get decided by the amount of full combos actually in each team.
Very true. No, more like allergies, Twitch chat.
Yeah, as long as you're not getting raised by your own cat because you got scratched.
No, I hope not. I really hope not.
Scratched and bitten up, Seatrot still commentating, what a trooper.
That's no biggie. Man, one time... True story, guys, don't ever let your cats watch a Taiko World Cup. They will destroy your monitor.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you know, you'd think with standard mode they'd be going nuts because the cursor moves everywhere, but that don't seem to set my cat off. What triggers my cat is Taiko.
Sounds like a one-sided abusive relationship with your cats.
She's 25 pounds of mean, and I've had her for 14 years now, so she's old and mean. So, you know,
Lord.
you don't really tell her what to do at this point. She just kind of exists.
Yeah, hopefully she's not gonna get grumpy. Especially looking at these circles, not trying to forget that these are circles and not some kind of ball of wool, for example. But look, coming back to the match, all FCs coming in, a few accuracy drops,
Oh,
but
wow.
then again, there's a few combo drops.
Moodbreaker just dropping on a very simplistic part though there.
It might be a little bit hard to get into the 100 picks to begin with, because just the sheer difference of approach rate to the last map. I mean, we did
Very
see an
true.
approach at 8 map, and then now an approach at 10 one.
Rinsler also going to see a miss there. This one should be pretty easy for the Netherlands. Kaishiro here definitely not going to have too many problems with the Night Cores. Synchrostar will find himself a miss, but still looking to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we see a bunch of misses all around. Once again, the map gets designed by the combo, and in rare cases by the accuracy.
I'm just so surprised that we're seeing misses on this. Like, the patterning itself isn't really difficult, but then again, like you said, like, it's meta towards how it's mapped and the rhythm it is a little bit different than what we see nowadays. It's very simplistic. It holds a lot of one half, and then you have a couple stream sections, but really, I guess just reading the approach rate is probably where we're going to see misses.
Indeed, and if you just look at the map really closely, you can see that either the spacing is really large, or exactly half of that. You can definitely see the distance snapping in the map itself. It changes between 2 times spacing, and isn't really as fluid as maps nowadays, which pretty much shows that it's a 2010, 2011, 12 map, still using quite a bunch of distance snapping.
I think it might be a little bit newer than that, but at the same time, Asphyxia probably pulled a lot of inspiration from other Nightcore maps, and Nightcore maps are very I wouldn't call them jerky, but yeah, they're kind of jerky. Let's be honest here. As you say, they kind of go from they usually either have very if it's anything I've touched, it's always symmetric, and then very mean in certain sections. And then
Indeed.
you'll see other Nightcore mappers and just mappers in general that go for this kind of approach where it's very consistent spacing met with increased spacing in certain parts of the song, usually around the Kai section, stuff like that. That will be the 3rd point for Netherlands, though. They are at potential match point now here.
Indeed, let's see how Indonesia is gonna respond to that. Oh, actually, that's gonna be Netherlands' pick, because Indonesia did pick this other map.
Oh wow, are they gonna do Blumenkranz? That actually would be awesome.
Synchrostar, I believe, definitely is capable of playing it pretty well. So is Kushiro. I'm not sure about the rest of the Netherlands setup.
I can dream.
I definitely would like to see a Blumenkranz. And it's gonna be Big Black, one of the hardest maps in the entire game.
It's so OP, it's not even on the list.
Yeah, Synchrostar is gonna be really good coming into this, coming into the Blumenkranz pick.
It looks like we're gonna go with a tail though.
The being good at playing Blumenkranz was actually a reference to his performance yesterday, where he did FC it, but missed at the ending and then died, and then pretty much ended up giving the point to the opposing team.
Oh man.
Which is the reason why he said "fuck you, Force."
Oh man. Gotta love that. And also Moodbreaker, like, have a good one. You did pretty well. Nice plays there. You guys can still bring this around. Don't let them intimidate you. You've got this.
Indeed. Well, yeah, I think Netherlands should definitely pick Blumenkrantz because they definitely showed good prowess on that pick.
I feel like maybe they probably shouldn't be listening to us too much. But it's like they got a direct line.
Well, they're going for Altail, the more common pick on 180 VPM. At least on this pick, you cannot die at the end, and if you do, then I don't know what you're doing because the ending is really slow and shouldn't bring you to die at all, and should actually revive you if you died before that on a harder part. So great safe pick by Netherlands because they will not lose by the death of a teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Great strategy all around. I really liked it from the Netherlands coming in.
All right, seeing some good sportsmanship there, getting some good luck, have funs out here. Potential match point for the Netherlands. Indonesia's chance to stop that starts now.
Believe in Indonesia. Maybe they can get another point so they can pick Blumenkrantz. Well, we're gonna have a slow section coming in, then a few awkward sliders, which are gonna drop a few accuracies, maybe even combo if you're not paying attention. And then we'll have a bunch of streams for the majority of the map. Afterwards, a calming parts, a 1/3 time signature part, which might throw some people off guard with the speed change. And then a really calm ending, which is not gonna bring any members of the Netherlands team to fail. So SJ, Sama and Synchrostar both are pretty safe on this map. And we do see some breaks by SJ, Sama and Lolly Master. I just had to double check if his name really is Lolly Master, or if it's just because of my involvement with the OWS community that I just completely took it for granted that there's Lolly in there. Well, yes, it is Lolly Master indeed. The one and only. The advantage, thanks to an early miss by Noah, is going to be in Indonesia's side. Maybe a reverse sweep coming up, but the 1/3 part is heading into our direction, and this is going to be the part which makes or break the combo if you're not used to these spacing changes. Oh, and we do see Noah and Ryusa missing both on the longest 1/3 part of the song, or at least the sequences of circles. And now we do have the calming after the storm, and I don't think it's gonna be enough for Netherlands to come back. The difference is 100,000 points, and it's actually closing in, but as long as there are no accuracy drops, who knows, anything can happen. But the last few sliders coming in and the accuracy drops are coming in. The gap close to 60,000 points, but it's not quite enough, giving the second point to Indonesia. And who knows, the Blumenkrantz stream is still alive.
All right, that's actually a very impressive play by Indonesia, managing to prolong that and deny them that win.
Yeah, seems like the Netherlands going for the safe route that none of their team members can die isn't really the best course of action. Maybe they really need that risk to potentially die at the end to win the round. But I really want to see Blumenkrantz.
Oh, dude, so do I. I have yet to see it. Yeah. Yeah, Twitch chat for sure. Press F for Blumencons. Or Riot.
Blumenkranz on Riot. And it's going to be remake and not Blumenkranz, unfortunately.
Aww.
Press F to pay respects. That is not going to be Blumenkranz. It's going to be 1OK Rock remake. A rather old map. Seems like they want to get this to a tiebreaker and still try hard. I don't fault them. I really don't fault them. Because if they really want to try and beat the Netherlands team, that's the way to go. Going by the most comfortable picks available.
Yeah, remakes still pretty nice. I like the other OK Rock song on this like map pool a little bit better.
You mean the Nomad one? The Nomad one OK Rock?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more modern in the sense of the mapping style, while this one is more of an older style. But you need that one obligatory 1OK Rock map in your tournament, the map pool.
Very true.
It's pretty much the same in community tournaments, except for Camellia. There's always one Camellia map in the map pool in a community tournament for some reason.
Yeah, pretty much. And for Twitch chat, just to see what I have to deal with, guys, here you go. This is what I'm dealing with at the moment. So I do apologize if for whatever reason, you know, I kind of disappear for a moment. But I am not getting any type of love.
Indeed, but at least we'll have all the teams duking it out. And at least we'll have the banter of the chat to entertain us in the meantime.
Oh, they'll see, they get to see a kitty if they like kitty cats.
Kitty looks like it wants to participate in the OS World Cup, but didn't have enough team members because the kittens aren't in the top 5k yet. Well, that's just the pain it is sometimes. And coming into the match, it is a 3-mod pick, so 2 players of each team need to pick a mod, either hard rock, hidden, or the combination of both. And it seems to be hidden only.
Yeah, it does look like we're only taking hidden. Also, don't worry about the IDs, guys. That's from 09. It's super old.
Oh lord. Alright, only hidden's coming in, even, just by complete contrast comparing it to the South Korea match, where we only saw hard rock coming in, on the entire team actually. So in this case we do have the 2 safe nomads and the 2 sacrificial lambs all hidden.
Yeah, and this is a song that you wouldn't actually expect to see too much hidden on, in my opinion, but then again, you know, whatever works for you.
Yeah, hidden is actually gonna be the safer option as long as you're comfortable with these kind of maps. While hard rock is a little bit harder to deal with. But this map does have the random, really big jumps coming out of nowhere. I mean, it does fit the music, but it's subjective whether or not it fits that much of a difference in spacing, or it warrants that kind of difference. And we do see that kind of pattern 3 or 4 times throughout the map, which is the key points to either lose or keep your combo, to potentially get the win. And the first one is gonna come up pretty soon. Alright, actually the second one. I think we already saw the first one.
Actually, it looks like Indonesia's doing pretty good here.
Indeed, that miss by Synchro is definitely gonna cost him quite a lot, but the full screen triangles.
We will see a drop from the Netherlands side as well. Is that a Henk? Actually, I don't know how you pronounce it. Amnesia?
I just call it amnesia, yeah. Just
Yeah.
call it like it's amnesia without the H. But SJ Sama and Amnesia both missing on the full screen square there. And the Indonesians are still keeping the 4AC. Really good pick by them. One break coming in from Moodbreaker, fitting his name on the full screen triangle jump. But there's plenty of jumps coming up for the rest of the team to break on. The ending does feature once again another full screen jump followed by some by actually not that much of a consistent rhythm at the end, where you actually can die if you miss the full screen jump. So please watch out for Synchro.
Oh, excuse me. That does look like this will be a victory for Indonesia, and that will bring us to tiebreaker hype, I think.
Yeah, if that's definitely a tiebreaker. Congrats to Indonesia for bringing it this far, tying it up once again and getting another tiebreaker. Well, it definitely was the better choice to pick a map they're comfortable on and not the Twitch favorite Blumenkranz map. I completely accept it in this case. And now we'll at least see a tiebreaker, which is just almost as hype as Blumenkranz, I'd say. Well, this tiebreaker is a 162 BPM. So a rather low BPM, but the interesting fact about the map is that it's really technical. Bunch of sliders, streams which change spacing a lot, so you see stream jumps and so on. And the sliders are gonna be the most important part of the map, the repeat sliders especially, because you can miss on them extremely easily. Score V2 is going to take your accuracy on sliders into account, whether you hit them on time or not, and it's gonna give you 150s or 300s respectively. So in this case, seeing good accuracies on this map is really rare. And the closest we've seen, or we've come to an SS, double S, was actually My Aim Sucks in one of the previous matches, with only 3 100s, 150 and 1 miss, which is just a testament to being one of the best accuracy players in the game. And it's gonna be interesting how far Netherlands and Indonesia is gonna come into this map. Seatrot, who do you think is gonna win this? I mean, obviously Netherlands is the higher seeded team, but Indonesia has shown pretty good performances.
I feel like if it comes down to consistency, I still feel the Netherlands might have this one. Indonesia definitely showing that they don't want to lose, though. They're definitely fighting for this victory, and they pulled it back. So, like, there's a good chance that they can walk away with this, but if the Netherlands can keep their stuff together and just remain calm in this tiebreaker, they should have this.
Indeed, I would also give them the advantage on this one. Plus, the tiebreaker is actually a contrast to most maps in the map pool. It's really technical. And even though it's only around 5 stars and 5 minutes long, it's extremely technical, which underrates its star value, just like most of the maps in the map pool. But the important thing is that usually people on a lower level of play don't play that many technical maps. Technical maps get really popular when you get really good at the game, and then you have technical maps to test another type of skill set, which is jerky mouse movements or jerky tablet movements, and just being really good at keeping rhythm, which is gonna be the factor, the dividing line between good and bad players, or well, good and decent players, let's put it that way, because these players, or everyone performing and playing in the owc is really good coming this far into O's. They invested so many playing hours to get this far.
Oh, for
and
sure,
it definitely
man.
shows.
And Netherlands has changed so much in terms of rosters throughout the years. I've watched their team, Netherlands and Norway, for that matter. Their rosters have just changed so dramatically. Netherlands and Norway used to be really, really, really scary, and I feel like they're starting to get back to that point. I mean, obviously you have people in the Netherlands that you've known for quite some time, like Kaishiro and Synchrostar. I do believe SJ Sama might be from last year as well. The Amnesia one, like, he might have been playing last year, but my memory doesn't stick out as much. And I apologize if I'm like completely going over you. You can feel free to yell at me later. I take screen requests, no problem.
Oh lord, it's completely fine. Well, this is gonna be really, really interesting coming into this. I'm gonna rely on you, Citro, to hype it up in case it gets really close.
Oh, for sure. I'm all good about that, man. I want to see down to the wire, man. Those are the best type of battles, and like we've seen so many down to the wire fights already in this group stage. This has been one of the most exciting group stages in terms of just like how things are going.
Yeah, actually, as a player, I really like this map pool out of the last few years the most, because it wasn't such a case of 8-way tie FCs all the time, because the maps are pretty easy and are just, you know, harder maps in pretty much the same style of harder map, but just on an easier platform. But this time around, you have so much diversity in the map pool. I really appreciate the map pool selectors trying to put as much into the map pool as possible.
Yeah, and you're seeing representations of not only just the high-end meta and the high approach rate and stuff like that. You're also seeing calls back to older mapping, lower approach rates, because, I mean, at the end of the day, being able to play the low approach rates is just as much a skill as being able to play the highs.
Indeed. There's so many different skill sets in OS you can actually test with a map pool that some map pools just don't do justice to some players. They really don't do the players justice, where they invested so many hours to learn specific things or specific maps and approach rates, and they don't even get to show that off and take advantage of it.
Exactly. I mean, like, excuse me again. In all honesty, like, people that are able to play the easy mod accurately need to be given some kind of, like, you are awesome badge, because that stuff is not easy in the slightest.
Indeed, and it's all about practice on those mods, but it's also about practice in this map coming in, this lighter, heavy, technical map. How well did these teams prepare for this map?
We'll actually see an early break from SJ Sama on the Netherlands side, which is going to give that initial lead over to Indonesia, definitely probably making them feel really good at this point. Going into this, bringing it to tiebreaker in the first place, they definitely have the momentum shift in their favor at the moment. Now, can they capitalize on that momentum and keep it going and pull a victory?
To be fair, I wouldn't really expect a full combo, or perhaps if full combos are coming in, only 2 at most, because this map is really hard to FC. On 5 minutes and then adding the tournament stress to it, it's just gonna make it really hard for both teams.
Yeah, we will see Genjutsu actually get a drop there on the Indonesia side. Score's still in their favor at the moment. Kaishiro also finding himself a miss. Not a really good situation to be in. There's 3 full combos on Indonesia's side at this moment. which means they're in a very good spot here. We only see one full combo from Amnesia at the moment, and well, no, two. I'm sorry, Jackie 5 actually holding full combo as well at this moment. But things are still looking in Indonesia's favor at the moment.
One thing I really don't like about the situation currently for the Netherlands is that they're missing Synchro, who's actually pretty good at these kind of maps and will definitely perform really well on it, especially accuracy-wise. But he didn't play, or he's not gonna play because he's not feeling safe, as he never played the tiebreaker. Didn't expect to come to this kind of situation.
And that's the worst kind of not being able to play the tiebreaker. You should always practice the tiebreaker. To any teams that are listening to the World Cup right now, please play the tiebreaker. It might seem completely pointless. You might think your skills are too impressive to even worry about a tiebreaker situation. But if you don't play the tiebreaker, these kind of situations hit you, and then you're just like, oh no. And that could potentially cost the Netherlands this match.
Yeah, it's looking really good for the Indonesian team currently. Ryuza is just completely smashing the map currently, and Genjitsu as well. Unfortunately, an early miss, but the accuracy is there. And the accuracy is the most important aspect if there's almost no combos available.
Yeah, Moonbreaker will find himself a miss, but Ryuza and Genjitsu both have their combos very high. Ryuza might be the only full combo left in the entire match, which is impressive in its own right.
Yeah, but we're coming to the second half of the map where things spice up a little bit. We do see more focus on a few streams here, and let's see how many players are gonna miss and lose accuracy actually on those. The doubles pass on the streams. Genjitsu actually missing there. These doubles are actually really tricky to sometimes aim because you gotta wait really long time because it's a rather low BPM.
Oh, Amnesia gonna find a miss for the Netherlands there. And Ryuza just being a legend at this moment. 1600 combo on the tiebreaker. Like it's nobody's business. 98%.94. Trying to get that 99% accuracy. Going incredibly hard for Indonesia as the points continue to skyrocket in their favor. This looks like it might be a come from behind victory from Indonesia, bringing this all the way back to tiebreaker. There is a drop by Rinsler, which could potentially cause some issues, but with very little of the map left, it looks like Indonesia is going to be able to pull this out as a victory. Huge upset for the Netherlands if this does happen. Kaishiro has managed to get to the 1400 mark in combo, which is very impressive, but Ryuza, like a legend, getting up to the 2K mark. Is he going to be able to hit it? I do believe he does, and he crosses right over that threshold. This one is going down to Indonesia, man. They worked for it. They brought it up from the behind. I love victories like this, man. The underdog taking it. Red side is the lowest seeded teams, guys. So Netherlands was in all favor to win this, but Indonesia said, no, not today. This is our victory, and we're going to have it our way. And as the map gets closer and closer to the end, it is very clear to see that they have managed to pull this back. I don't understand how to breathe right now, Twitch chat. This is too hype. And with that final spin, oh man, yeah. In Moodbreaker writing GG well played at the end there. Indonesia is going to take that 4-3. Very good fight from the Netherlands. You guys did impressive. It's just the consistency there on Indonesia's side. Look at Ryuza. Like, holy crap. Perfect. Full combo. Just like a boss. No problem.
Woo! Yeah, this is the great job there, C-Troll. I hope I'm at least going to give you a bit of time, a bit of breathing room now. Ryuza definitely, he showed up for his team, and that's the nature of this map. If UFC, it's that I don't expect too many FCs coming in, even on high seeded teams or top seeded teams like the USA. We only saw like a one FC because it's so easy to break on this map. So even something like Ryuza pulling this off, that's definitely on the level of one of the top teams currently. Absolutely nuts. Unfortunately, this wasn't too much of an important match, as South Korea and the Russian Federation already got locked in for the top 2 spots in their group. but Indonesia at least took it and reigned over Netherlands as the unseeded team in the group. Alright, and now we'll have to see what matches are coming up next.
It does look like we will be going over the Norway versus Denmark, if I'm not mistaken.
No idea, man.
Alright, so it will be Norway versus Denmark.
I'm quite looking forward to this one, actually.
Yeah, as I've seen, Denmark has gotten really close to beating the USA 4-3, only losing out on a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, Denmark have been doing really well, but then again, so is Norway.
Indeed, this is really important for Norway actually to win this, so they can secure the second spot.
I think it's important for both these teams, actually.
Yeah, but Norway has actually, contrary to some of the previous years, a really strong team this year around.
This is definitely gonna be one to watch.
But Denmark has been also performing phenomenally in the group stages so far, getting a lot of free AFCs, and that just alone is gonna show off a lot. And it seems like, I believe that's the first pick, or is how many points do we already have?
No, they're
Yeah.
jumping straight to remake. Excellent.
Yeah, I think that's the first map of the game, and it's gonna be remake. A full mod by Norway coming in, and the 3 mods from Denmark. Sporklover going for the Hidden Harvard team player, and Wave Werf is going for the Hidden. Norway, actually, I'm actually in the same group as Norway, and we did play against them, and they also did 4x Hidden on this map. But they didn't manage to see it.
Like, after last year with top right now in the group stage, Norway just going full on mod usage just does not surprise me at all anymore.
Yeah, I mean, some of these players pretty much breathe the mod they're using. Like Chien is really comfortable on Hidden, and Shu on Hidden Hard Rock is no surprise at all because he's really good on Hidden Hard Rock. But sometimes it might be better to go on no mod, but the players should know best what their best mod is. I'm not gonna take that and question it.
I think it's actually all 4 of the Norway players are pretty comfortable with what they're doing.
Yeah, but on the other side, on Denmark side, we also see Sporklover and the 2 hidden players performing phenomenally currently. Only 1 miss coming in from the normal player. We're gonna call him Cry for now.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if Denmark are holding their full combos, they're actually as high as Norway, which is going to cause problems later on.
Indeed, and PC actually missing there. One of the back 4th jumps, just misaiming it, and then we see the full screen score, and Sabo and Cry both missed once again. But the mods are holding strong.
Yeah, that's the thing about these sort of maps, like, the hitting can really throw you off with some of these types.
Indeed, and it's a Project 9.0, which is also something you might not be used to currently. And the patterns, the insane space increases like that, actually everyone nailing that one. That's definitely gonna throw some people off guard.
What's surprising is I think Denmark got picked win. Yeah, Denmark picked win.
Yeah, Sporklow with the hidden hard rock countering Shu, but it's gonna come down to the last few pushkin jump at the 1040 combo mark. The 1040 common mark is another full screen jump, and it might make or break the deal. But PC missing again is gonna actually seal the deal now, because that's gonna leave his team really vulnerable to losing a lot of points.
I'm actually really surprised here. Singapore is actually 2-0 up over Finland.
Oh, very interesting.
I did not see this coming.
Spork lover with the B2 misses at the last full screen square jump, but it's enough to get their team the first point.
Very impressive play by Denmark there too.
Indeed, the welcome back C-Trot once again.
Oh yeah, I was here. I was just drinking water and watching the match.
All right.
Took a bit of a breather.
Understandable, but Norway once again, the 4x mods is backfiring. I'm not sure. Maybe if they know that they're performing the same on no mods, then I guess all the more power to them for picking him to get a little bit of the extra modifier in there.
All right, so we've actually seen Denmark play a little bit today. Well, earlier yesterday, and they definitely seem to be giving it a little bit of a harder shot this time. Now, Norway is nothing to laugh at, though. They've been incredibly strong before. Chu, Cebu, GN, and PC, all very decent players.
Indeed. And I actually believe Denmark got a lot of confidence after winning against Austria yesterday against my team, because they wouldn't have expected it, and then proceeded to get really good scores against the USA by potentially, being the underdog and having this momentum and feeling, yeah, dude, we can do this, we can totally do this. And I totally remember that feeling, because in the first World Cup I participated in, which was 2013, I believe, we were in a group low-seeded against China and Sweden as the higher two seeds, and we beat China immediately 4-3 in the tiebreaker. And that just gave us the momentum to beat pretty much everyone in the group. And I definitely like that coming in from Denmark, trying the best to keep on going. Maybe they might become a next powerhouse or a dark horse in the following years.
I love this song. Every time it's picked.
There are two types of people. Either you love it or hate it.
Yeah, I only have 40? No, not 40. That's probably too many. 30 Nightcore map? No, I don't like Nightcore. Whatever. I don't even know what Nightcore is.
I rather like Irma, not Mapcard. Thanks, Citro.
Dude, that was such a joke. And that's the best part about it. People love it. And it was literally just, I wonder how big of a crap I could take in the editor.
Boy, some mappers are definitely trying nowadays.
Yeah, and I feel bad for saying that, because I know there's some people that are like, it's such a good map. It's not a good map, guys. It's not from one of the creators. It's not.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry, which map is this?
This is gonna be how do you do the 100 pick.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, I'm getting hurt right now. What
Oh
I've
damn.
done.
Locta coming in. Only you thanks 8 Nightcore.
Oh, my feels.
Well, here we are spending time in the louder part of town, and it feels like everything's surreal. When I get old, I will wait outside your house, because your hands have got the power meant to heal.
Oh yeah, how do you do one of the, well, to be fair, we only have 2 100 picks, so both are definitely gonna be popular one way or
Oh, for
another.
sure.
The only thing I don't like about the 200 picks is that they feel really similar. I would have perhaps liked a bit more diversity in that. Maybe some 150 BPM streaming on hard rock. That might be interesting to really test the accuracy on low BPM. But currently we do have Cascada. How do you do on 175 BPM or 177.5 BPM? Pretty much decided by combos all throughout the tournament so far. It doesn't really have too many difficult patterns. It's more about being used to the mapping style, which is influenced by older mapping styles of the 2011, 2012 years. Where you definitely, if you look at it closely on the jumps, you see either 1 times the spacing or 2 times the spacing. There's nothing really in between. It's this is snapping is hard.
Which is great that's really great for muscle memory, and that's why I feel like you wouldn't see too many people messing up on that. But you're right, it's an older style map, and that type of consistency isn't something you see much in the newer meta. So I could see how some people make mistakes here.
Indeed, it's just something aesthetically. It's also a bit of something you're not used to currently on nowadays. Aesthetically and playing wise, if you're not used to it, you're not good at it. If you don't play it, you're not gonna get good at it, which is the reason why things like that exist. That's just the way it is. The mapping style definitely makes a difference in terms of playing and consistency. You just gotta play it to get better at it.
Yeah, I've always felt that like electronica music, trance, anything like that is very easy rhythm-wise though. So the spacing and how it's set up is kind of the only real challenge in my opinion.
Indeed, and it seems to be enough of a challenge for Denmark. But Norway is actually also lagging behind a little bit, but it has the 2 seats against 1.
Yeah, it does look like Norway definitely has a little bit more consistency with these older style maps. But just given some of the players that are actually playing right now, it's a given. They definitely picked the right roster for this.
Seems like their own pick is gonna backfire. But Denmark at least has a lot more avenues to attack Norway on. So thankfully it's not that they're relying on Harder to get 2 points off. Well, they definitely performed phenomenally on Nomad and DT.
I'm just glad to see so many back and forths with this group stage. We have seen sweeps, don't get me wrong, but with most of the matches I've had the pleasure to cast on this weekend, we've had a lot of back and forth, and a lot of the matches aren't going as clean sweeps. You're at least seeing 4-1s or 4-2s, and that's amazing. That's really good. That gives a very good idea how exciting the round of 16 is going to be.
Indeed. I mean, it might just be a testament to the map pool giving that much diversity to the players to be able to take advantage of the skill sets.
Ooh, speaking of odd spacing, here comes Jukai Girl, or Eurofua Jukai Girl, and this map is Garden's version of this song, and it is very mean if you're not a very distance player. If you play with a low movement speed or you have a small tablet area, this one could trip you up. It's spaced very far.
And the most important part is that it's consistently far, which is something you're not really used to, once again.
Exactly.
And also next to that you have a bunch of really long sequences of circles. So it's not like some of the modern maps where you have like 3 jumps and then a slider, where you can kind of adjust and relax for a second. On this map you have to keep on a smooth rhythm with your aim. If you botch up once, you're gonna miss a bunch of notes.
Yeah, and like the chaotic nature of the song makes you feel that you have to move faster than you really do. But the initial spacing difference gives off the impression that speed is needed. When in reality, like you said, you just need to approach it at a calm rate and a consistent rate. And if you do that, you'll be fine, but it's very hard to manage all that while the song's going.
Indeed, and one of the factors which is actually completely undervalued on this map is first, it's OD9, just as a side note, so accuracy is gonna be important and it's gonna drop a lot for people who are not comfortable. And secondly, the map is 216 BPM. Combine that with the approach rate of 9.0, which a lot of people are not used to, you get a higher node density, which means a higher amount of nodes you see at any given time than usually on a higher approach rate. And the combination of high BPM and low approach rate is going to give you some of the highest node densities possible. And that's something which is completely undervalued on this pick, which, as you said, might give the illusion of it being a lot faster than it is because you see so many nodes at the same time that you potentially panic.
Very much so. So, like, remaining calm and just trying to relax through this one is your best bet. But it has some really spaced out patterns which give off that illusion of high speed. Not to say that it isn't a fast map. And
Indeed.
We already see a slider break from PC there.
And there's one part I want to highlight, which is in the middle of the song, which is like rainbows or arches going from right to left to right to left, and just full of sequence of circles and increasing spacing. That's the hardest part in the entire song. It's gonna trip up a lot of people.
And yeah, we're seeing a couple more slider breaks here. Worth and Team Player both slider breaking at roughly the exact same place. And that's going to give Norway a chance to capitalize on a double break there and put the score a little bit more in their favor. Gian will find a miss.
Oh, Gian, actually one of the better players in these kind of maps. Getting that miss is uncharacteristic for him.
Very much so.
Having problems.
You could see the frustration in his cursor when he dropped too.
Indeed, but Shu and Vara currently holding a really good combo, and so is PC, 99%.
Sport Glover and Crisley on Denmark's side are bringing up pretty high combos here. Ooh, Sport Glover finding that miss right when he didn't need it there. That is going to give Norway a little bit more breathing room here.
Indeed, but one of the hardest parts is still gonna come up, but the scoring is ever increasing.
Yeah, Sport Glover will find another miss, unfortunately.
At the end of this solo, we're gonna see the hardest part of the entire map, and there we go.
Yeah, those arches are evil.
Denmark completely falling apart on that. Shu actually the only one holding combo and potentially of seeing. Well, that's the nature of the map. It's one of the hardest maps in the entire map pool, despite its low star rating.
Yeah, I have no idea how the star rating got this one, because this thing is like my kryptonite. I cannot do maps, and you can see the difficulty that even players of this caliber are having with it. It keeps flow in one direction for so long that it gets really hard to maintain combo, and slight mistakes are made. And as you can see, the accuracies are relatively high across the board. It's just there's lots of slight mistakes here. Not too many misses, but slider breaks and a few drops galore for just about everybody. Shu being the only one that will get the perfect on that and full combo. Very impressive play. PC getting a full combo, but finding a couple slider breaks and a few 50s as well. But that will be a point for Norway, and that will bring them 2-1.
Indeed, but Denmark is not out of it yet. I mean, they did show up against the highest seed in the group, which is the top seed USA, which actually are the champions of the last OWC. A little bit of a different roster, but still really good and strong nonetheless. So Denmark definitely have still the possibility to come back.
All right. I wonder what they're going to play next in the map pool here.
Indeed. Whose pick is it gonna be? Norway?
Let's
Wait,
take a
no,
look here.
I think it's gonna be Denmark.
Yeah, it's Denmark's pick.
I'm gonna expect not hidden. I'm not gonna expect hidden at all. Maybe free mod, but I'm gonna put my money on no mod. Potentially the approach 8 no mod, but that actually looking at GN might be too intimidating for them for approach 8, so they might go for something more normal. I just need something all 4 players are comfortable on, and all can FC. Also, some matches at the side. We do see Finland versus Singapore. Currently Finland leading 3-2 against Singapore.
Yeah, Finland's doing really well this year.
Also, from what I see, we do see United Kingdom is 2-2 against Hong Kong.
All right, it looks like they're going to go with Golden... Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Looks like we're going to go with Golden Slaughter.
And it's gonna be DT, which I'd say is also a good approach to it. Hidden might be too scared of Hidden because Norway picked Hidden only on the free mods, so they definitely are comfortable on it. Weird no mod maps are also out of the question. But DT, definitely, DT is an avenue to attack on. The Golden Slaughterer difficulty, I believe the last time they played this they had 3 FCs. Let's see if they can repeat that. Well, this map is going to be going to have the theme of 200 BPM streams, followed by some weird 1/6 burst, which end up being 300 BPM at the beginning. So we might see some early breaks and some early accuracy drops, which we did see in so many matches before. So I don't think this will be an exception to that. Also, the streams at the end can make a lot of people miss and mess up, so that's gonna be the hardest part of the entire map. The beginning after the 1/6 burst is pretty standard and pretty chill, so if you missed that you just lost a lot of concentration and nerves are getting to you, because that's not a part you should miss on. But this is Denmark's pick, and they definitely know what they're doing. And just judging by their last matches, they have the potential to take this away from Norway. And there we go, a rather old 2-minute long double time map. The fastest the fastest map in the map pool if you count streams towards it. Because we do have maps like the UK girl map, which is higher BPM but doesn't really feature any streams.
Yeah, you are correct. Very interesting to see this played kind of early here. Norway's pretty decent with speed, but I'm not 100% sure how comfortable they feel with a map this fast. It does look like Denmark has the early point advantage too.
Yeah, thanks to GN missing on the 1/6 burst at the beginning.
It's just, will they be able to keep that consistency up against Norway?
Alright, that was pretty much the calm part. Now the second half of the map is gonna feature a bunch of streams, giving this map the difficulty and the reason to be in the map pool. There are also longer streams at the end, and the last stream is going to be really long, followed by a bunch of repeat sliders, which is a little bit awkward to hit.
Yeah, and it looks like the score is flickering back and forth now. Denmark, that had the early point advantage now, is slowly diminishing as Norway is pulling ahead. That drop from Lizzie is actually going to be what gives Norway the chance here to pull ahead. And they have pulled ahead quite far. There's only about a quarter of the map left. They should be able to take advantage of this.
Let's see whatever happened there.
Sorry about that.
We do see the repeat sliders coming in, and White Verb is going to miss on it. By definition, it is the fastest map in the map pool, but it's nowhere as fast as we can go in the next stages of the map of the tournament. Unfortunately, most of these players are not fully utilizing their maximum speeds they can get, but it's going to be enough for this map, giving actually Norway the win currently, having had the higher combos. Norway definitely shows that they're capable of 200 BPM streaming at least.
Yeah, and that's going to bring Norway to potential match point here. Denmark really going to have to get their stuff together if they want to stay in this match any longer. There is still a chance, though, and we've seen awesome comebacks from this very spot. Reverse sweeps, what some people call it. But these things are amazing. Denmark has been put on the spot now. Now it's their time to shine. And to kind of go up on another match here, Singapore lost their pick on How Do You Do, and that actually had Finland winning that match now, 4-2. And that's very impressive. Finland's been doing very well here.
Indeed, Finland has definitely shown a lot of progress. They do have a bunch of players who got some experience in community tournaments, like Hipri, and they actually have some players which are unexpected this year around, like Lua. And they are all performing wonderfully.
It's really cool to see Lua playing again now, which is kind of neat. But it looks like we're gonna go with Hadamate girls. Now this map is brutal if you're not used to Score V2's slider leniency being restricted.
Indeed, because this map it reminds you of an alternating map, but in reality it's pretty much just 190 BPM through and through. While the sliders are a lot longer than you would expect them to.
And it has a lot of gallop jam, but because of slider leniency, you can kind of not worry so much about the timing on it. But with V2, now you have to worry about the timing on it, so it makes this very difficult.
Indeed, and following that, you have some 190 BPM radar space streams. Not as space as it could be, but enough to make this a map, or at least the players be wary of the streams.
Yeah, this should be pretty interesting here. I think Denmark might actually have a chance here. I'm not exactly sure how well Norway handles complex rhythms.
Actually, I believe Norway is going to have the advantage in this one because Jien, Shu, and PC are definitely comfortable on these complex rhythms, and Norway did pick this, so they do know what they're doing.
Very true. Well, Denmark, good luck to you here as we get into the potential match point in this match of Norway versus Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark still has a chance, but as far as I remember, they didn't perform too hot on this against the USA.
Yeah, now that I look back on that, this might not be good news for Denmark, but I still have hope. You guys got this.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's a really good pick by Norway. They did their homework and definitely know what their strengths and Denmark's weaknesses are. But anything can happen because there's always the element of randomness and chance in O's. You know, O's in reality is just like Hearthstone, completely luck-based, completely RNG. But on a more serious note, we're gonna get in the map, no early drops, but a bunch of early accuracy drops to be expected, and Sport Global the first one to drop on the first screen.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it might feel like it's RNG when you're playing. It's not, once you get used to it. Ooh, those circle holds, though, those would mess me up. Even though they're not really that complex or hard, it's just the shape is very off-putting.
Indeed, following it perfectly and timing the beginning perfectly, that's the important part. Because most players have the tendency to actually not follow this ladder perfectly and get the next ladder early on. But you can't do this here because you will get a 100.
Yes, and it does look like Denmark had some issues there. Sporklever and Krylazy both dropping at the same place.
Well, actually, Denmark is reigning superior currently with only 2 FCs and no FCs from Norway.
Oh, whoa, it just switched over super quick.
There we go. Denmark has gotten the luck of the draw, and Norway just got completely screwed over.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, but it does look like they will take that as a victory, bringing that 2-3 in favor of Norway still.
And it is going to be Denmark's pick, and it seems to be Dreamwalker. I think the longest map in the entire map pool, 4 minutes long, by its vibe. It's a chill German bass song, 175 BPM, and is characteristic for really weird patterns sometimes. A lot of pattern variety, which might catch you off guard.
Did we talk about the other match that's going on? United Kingdom versus Hong Kong?
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead, that beat.
Because Hong Kong has won 4-2.
Absolutely insane. Hong Kong winning against the UK 4-2. Something I actually did expect, because Hong Kong, despite being low seeded, is actually a really good contester for something like the top 16 at least.
You mean Hong Kong are doing really well?
Indeed. And it seems like they fixed the problems they had yesterday, where they didn't have some key players like Daniel Nassar and Min. Well, after getting those players back, they definitely showed up. Because I believe they almost, or I think they did lose. No, they almost lost against Sweden, I believe. But they just won it in a tiebreaker, thankfully. Well, the players are getting ready in our current match. Norway versus Denmark, 3-2 currently. And Denmark is trying to get their 4th player in. Can Denmark potentially get this to a tiebreaker situation?
That would be pretty hype if they did. Not gonna lie.
Indeed, they do have the potential to. I mean, if they got the USA to a tiebreaker, despite the circumstances, they can get anyone to tiebreaker really.
Sure. No, I did actually miss that. Which pick is this?
This is Denmark's pick, so they hopefully know what they're doing and know their own strengths and are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, hopefully they pick the right map then. I guess only time will tell now how this will end.
Indeed. Good luck to the players of Denmark potentially getting this tiebreaker, and good luck to Norway not bringing it this far because they do not want to play a tiebreaker.
No, I imagine they just want to have this ended. Take the 4-2 win.
And it'll start really calm. The spacing variance and the slider shapes are sometimes a little bit awkward for these players. Where you can see some early drops, for example, by Shu.
This is definitely going to be a close one from what I can tell. I actually don't know if I want to win.
Indeed. But only time will tell.
Kinda want to go Denmark with the underdog.
Combos are kept phenomenally, but that's just 1/3 of the map. There's plenty of map left to miss on. And there's gonna be a big jump coming up. Well, at least they got the triangle jump. And there's gonna be a few more awkward jumps actually coming in, which you wouldn't really expect from a part of the song to feature it.
No, it is a little, it does feel a bit out of place, but it does its job well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it still does fit the music, and it's just all about music interpretation. That's what mapping pretty much is.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, at least Denmark have a slight unfortunate miss. This is looking to be a good one for Denmark because they are full 4 combos to 3.
Indeed, well, just a single combo can turn the tides immediately. But they're still holding phenomenally. The insane spacing variances are easy to keep up for Denmark's side of the table. But Norway also is still holding strong. If they would have missed, then that would have sealed the deal, but they're still trying their best and hoping for Denmark to miss.
They all make it look so easy.
It's completely in Denmark's bag. It's up to them if they're gonna lose or win this. It's completely up to them. There's nothing Norway can do except keep on combo and believe.
Believe in the power of the other team making a mistake.
And now we have a short break where all the players see the opposing players score, and probably right about now is where the nerfs can kick in.
Yeah, I mean, Norway probably won't be particularly happy about that, but I imagine Denmark will be over the moon.
It doesn't seem like they're getting phased by the nerfs at all. Except for the team player, he's taking up all his team's nerfs, and who knows, might it be enough? It will be enough, because Norway is taking the lead at the end. The accuracy is gonna be the deciding factor why they got the lead so quickly. Unless anyone misses from Norway, this is gonna be Norway's point. Another miss by Cry, and this will be match point for Norway and them winning 4-2.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to seal it. Well played to Norway.
Indeed, really good accuracy all around by Norway, giving them immediately the lead.
I will be right back.
Alright, and I believe that might actually be it for this block's matches.
That it actually is.
So that
Hold up
means
for a second. Alright, I could be a little bit naughty. Alright, so that is the current set of matches we have for now. We do have more matches coming up later at... When do we have those matches? We do 5 PM UTC, which is about 4 hours away. And we should have some pretty good matches coming up then, I think. What do we have? We've got France versus Finland, which I'm really looking forward to. Italy versus Ukraine, and Chile versus Israel.
alright, so we're gonna have some more matches, some more O's goodness in a few more hours, in 4 hours exactly from now on. So we're gonna see you later on.
We're not quite done yet because we do have a few steady things, which I'm just finishing up now. Bear with me for half a second. Alright, so we should hopefully see some stuff up on the stream very shortly. With some luck. I might quickly finish up this. That's right. Alright.
Alright, so we're gonna have some points, I believe.
Yep. I'm just getting everything set up.
But for now, we did have a bunch of exciting matches today and yesterday. I really like that in the previous days, or in the group stage this year around, there's been plenty of 4-2s and not only 4-0 storms. The only team I believe which actually got a bunch of 4-0s was Poland.
Yep, Poland has not actually lost a match yet, I believe, which is pretty impressive, if I may say so. Alright, so... Alright, so the first image is just a few quick statistical things. So we have 4 teams that have already essentially finished all their matches, which is China, Germany, South Korea, and Taiwan. And they actually won all their matches without losing anything. So they went 3 for 3, and they are going to move on to the round of 16 and the number 1 place. We also have Australia, Canada, Russia, and the United Kingdom all moving on to the round of 16 as well. Their position isn't exactly set in stone. They might be the second or the first. It still depends on some of the other matches that are going to be happening.
Indeed, for example, the UK depends on the Sweden versus Brazil match.
Yep. I think they'll probably end up first anyway.
Yeah, I think they've got better points or better match lose and win difference to Sweden, for example.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how the rest of the matches go. We actually saw quite a lot of tiebreaker hype as well, because we saw Taiwan versus Mexico and China versus Canada go to tiebreaker. And in both those matches, we also saw at least one player play with Hidden, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. China versus Canada going to tiebreak is actually extremely important because China is one of the teams to win it this year.
If I remember correctly,
showing
on Canada's team it was Azra Mirahong who went Hidden.
Yeah, I see Aza going in on the map, but Mirahong, I wouldn't have expected Hidden from Mirahong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Mirahong. So yeah, they both went with the Hidden. But we also saw South Korea versus Russia and Netherlands versus Indonesia, which is actually the entirety of Group G playing at the same time. And conveniently enough, both of them went to tiebreak as well, so that was kind of nice.
Indeed.
Yeah, I actually think Group G is all done as well. Like all their matches are finished up. So up now we've got a list of the results from today so far. So it's pretty much been blue team mostly winning. Taiwan, China, Finland, Australia, South Korea. But we did see Indonesia take out Netherlands and Hong Kong take out United Kingdom, which was a nice surprise there.
Yeah, I mean, to me it wasn't too much of a surprise because Hong Kong is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, low-seeded team in the entire tournament currently. They definitely have a chance.
They are monsters. It actually surprises me that they're just low seed.
Yeah, last year round, I believe they got top 8 finish with the same roster. So that pretty much shows you that they definitely have the chance and the skill to get this far.
Actually, if I'm correct, don't they have a very small roster this year?
Might be smaller, but I pretty much see the same amount of players and the same good players, which pretty much made a round pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's 8. I must have been thinking of a different team then. But they're doing really well, so I'm actually looking forward to. I'm hoping that they can make it through to the round of 16, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
hope
looking
too.
good. It's really not looking good for them.
Yes, it's gonna depend on Brazil actually losing to Sweden, which is a second-seeded team losing to an unseeded one.
Well, I mean, we've seen stranger things happen today, so. So I mean, hey, it could happen.
Indeed.
Oh, so I did. Whoops. I made a mistake in that one. Whoopsie daisies. So it's probably in the second one as well. Oh dear.
Well, things happen.
Yeah, that's what happens when you rush a bit. Totally on me. So this is essentially just like an updated look at how the picks and bans have played out over the weekend. So we do have a lot of love for a tail still. We're about to receive more than 20 picks.
Actually, really interesting to see that Hari Nosora, one of the Dalata picks, has not been banned once yet. I think I think the Austrian team is gonna take over that statistic and is gonna ban it in our match.
Please, that's really annoying me that it's not banned.
Yeah.
It's like the one map that no one wants to ban. It's annoying.
Triggering the OCD.
It really is.
Well, there we still see more banning out of Blumenkranz. It's steadily increasing. The second banned map is going to be UK Girl for obvious reasons, as being pretty much the hardest map in the entire map pool. And the picks are still steadily increasing, so we see the same patterns ever increasing once again. Oil Tail, for example, and Golden Slaughterer are one of the more popular maps. But what I'm surprised about is the 1OK Rock, the Mikansai, the normal 1OK Rock map. It was really popular the first time around in the first day, but isn't as popular in the second one. It was one of the most popular ones yesterday.
Yeah, it kind of died down a bit actually. Some of the other ones that have actually been popping up quite a bit more, died down a bit as well. It's the free mod. Like we saw a lot of free mod on the first half, and now that's kind of
Indeed.
died down a bit as well. And we're starting to see a lot more Skyclad.
Yeah, Skyclad forcing your enemy to go approach late is really important and really helpful if you have the skill, and the enemy doesn't.
But yeah, I think that'll pretty much do it for now, unless there's anything you want to quickly add.
Yeah, so we'll see you in 4 hours for the next matches of the owc World Cup.
Yeah. Take care, guys, and have a good break.
See you.